Get 'em, Jimmy, where low shack at? The bottles getting nippy up the Kraken. We stacking chips, all of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated public sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced. Leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call it truth. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon 'cause we be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, February 9th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. Was a wild 24 hours of headline news. The NBA made some wild moves back to the old days when the Western Conference was completely stacked. I thought things were changing. As not the case. KD to the Phoenix Suns. Wild. We'll talk all about it. We also have a big 7-game NHL card and then an 11-game NCAA basketball card. I like to keep it to 10, but I couldn't make that final cut. So we've got 11 games. We've got Mr. Gogster making his triumphant return to the show. We haven't seen him in a couple weeks. Then we have Connor Mack picks breaking down college basketball with us. It's great to see you all. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. I'm going to be producing this show as well. Jose is busy today with an important meeting, so I will do the best I can to highlight the comments. I probably won't be able to get to enough of them, but I will do the best I can because I know how important they are. Shout out to all the cappers joining us. Brian Watson. There's my guy, Dan Kelly, wishing my son Carter a happy birthday. Second birthday's 2 years old today. 2. Equinimus in the house. Ray Charles, Deshaun G coming off a big day. Love hearing that. Andrew G ready to get to work, says the Suns. God, KD in a Suns uniform with Chris Paul. Lot to talk about. Sky Dragon said today seems like a good day to bet Nuggets futures. I thought the exact same thing. And I was like, but let's not do it in the morning. I thought just the exact same thing. So if you're thinking the exact same thing as me, it means that I should probably lock in. So I'm going to lock. I'm going to see. I'm just going to get an idea, lay of the land here and watch it throughout the day. But I agree completely. This is our opportunity. I agree absolutely completely. I mean, who would want to bet a Phoenix Suns future right now? If you want to bet a Phoenix Suns future, I would wait for game 1 of the NBA playoffs to ensure that Kevin Durant is healthy. That's not the kind of risk reward I think is worth it right now. Because how would you like to come into the playoffs and have KD hurt? So, but I agree with you, Sky. Exactly what I was thinking. There is Newarker in the house. Turns, he says, the Wild are dead to me. Killed my winning streak in the NHL. Look, I like watching them lose, and I am betting them on the first period against Vegas tonight. But I want them to lose. I want to cash my under 99.5. I still have beef with them for that comeback down 3-1 against the Bertuzzi, Naslund-led knuckleheads back. God, I can't even tell you what year that was. Fuck, what year was that? I don't know, but it broke my heart, ripped my beating heart out of my chest when they came back. I still think of there's a couple things I think of, when I'm upset and I need to put a smile on my face. One of them is that, Huberdeau is signed until 2030-31 at $10.5 million. So the Flames have him until 2030-31. If I'm in a photo, with fan, I need to smile. I just think of Huberdeau and Markstrom and their contracts for the Calgary Flames. And I get really happy. But generally speaking, for the last 20 years, I think of Bure knocking out Shane Churla with the elbow. And that just feels really good. But not quite as good as Huberdeau being signed till 2030-31. He got a shot on goal last night. Got a shot on goal, or 2 nights ago. Sorry, when they played. Got a shot on goal. Bobby Boucher in the house, swept the board as well. Dan Kelly says D'Lo must be one of the most toxic players in the league. LA should fit fine with him again, as long as nobody in Lakers are screwing around. Yeah, he he'll never get past what went down with him and Nick Young. That'll never. God, I was just awful. But that trade surprised me. I was like, what? I was trying to. Well, we'll talk all about all those trades. Ryan Mueller in the house. There is Clint Starr, the diehard MMA podcast, rolling with us. Lucas Ryan ready to get to work. Bobby Boucher says crazy morning. Yeah, nuts, absolutely nuts. Deshaun talking about the under 6.5. Yeah, you bought that up to the 6.5. Not necessary. I don't. But you had a very successful night. Keep doing what you're doing that brings you success. Justin McElvey in the house. Oh, I love that. Thank you, man. Respect. And that's what we do. That's what this whole show is about. Is just us working together now to defeat the juice and to succeed, but also to get as much information as possible and improve every single day as cappers. Ray Charles says, man to man, NBA just got flipped upside down. I love it. It's fun. It's fun to wake up to the KD trade because I was not aware of it. I guess it happened late last night. Viper, Rocco Rogers ready to get to work. Series business. Thank you, Justin, for wishing Big Carter happy birthday. It means a lot. Thank you. Shogun says Temple and Belmont killed it crazy a lot last night. It's too bad. I was on Missouri State. College basketball, it was a frustrating day. And there was some great work done here. I went 3-0 in sides. Syracuse -3.5, Missouri State -1.5, Georgia Tech money line. But my totals took the money off the table for me, and I'm just going to start focusing on sides. That's what got me to that great record in the first place was sides, and it was disappointing. The totals were a flop. And then last night in NBA, it was the opposite. It was the Hornets +4 in the 7. How am I on the Hornets again? I mean, I just lost a little bit of big because I was on the under in that game. But the Raptors first half team total under 62.5, and the Warriors first quarter team total under 29.5. Psychologically, the way I love to cap, those were great bets. The Raptors being locked in here on the trade deadline after a 7-game road trip against the worst team in the league. That cashed so easily. And the Warriors first quarter, you're telling me they're going to shoot, they had 26 3-pointers in their first game without Steph. They're going to do that in Portland in the first quarter. I mean, but it's messed up. Now, all that had to happen was Indiana, Miami under 223.5 to hit. And the last minute of the game, there was 15, 20 points that pushed it over. And it would be a nice, beautiful winning day in NBA. But still 3-3 losing the VIG. It's upsetting. Quinimus in the house. Billy Friedrich says, I'm all in on the Chiefs. I still haven't decided how much to bet on the Eagles. I've been going over. The thing is, the only thing that's keeping me off, I want 500 to be the limit, and I almost bet 500 last night, but I think 400 is probably better for me because what if I bet 500, then what are these $100 live bets going to be like? They mean nothing. I need to at least keep a situation where a $100 live bet means something. And if I have 400 pregame, then a $100 live bet still means something. I think I just explained. I think I just told myself what I'm going to do. Just 2 units. Let's create a situation where I'm not all in on my pregame action. Okay, I think I just answered it for myself. I guess I need to just talk it out. Mike M and Wine Time Sports. Slatsy, 3-1 night in NHL on Oilers regulation -110. Bo Horvat over 2.5 shots on goal in the Rebenga game. I have made 3 bets in NHL. Thank you guys for the love for Big Carter. Oh, yeah. Everybody's saying Anunoby's going out west. That's the big story is that, okay, so you send KD out west. Well, who's going to defend KD? Whoever wants someone to defend KD, pick up Anunoby and give us some first-round picks, please. All right, great to see all of you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for all that love there. Tone Miggins going to be running with me on Super Sunday on our live bet stream, as is our first guest, who not only will be running with me on our Super Sunday live bet stream. There's Clint, started the Thur MMA podcast. He'll also be giving us some looks pregame on the Super Bowl. He'll be at the party, but he'll make it work for us. And he says, go Suns. Not a basketball guy, but go Suns. Look, it's exciting. Suns to the West Conference Final. I don't know how anybody would make a future bet on the skinny legs of Kevin Durant until they know he's healthy at the start of the playoffs. I mean, but that's personally. Someone who makes a lot of future bets and is trying to cut them down. I think Dennis nailed it. Today is the day we bet Denver Nugget futures. Maybe we wait 24 hours and see what else came in. But the last thing you want is the Nuggets to actually improve here. And Dan Kelly says also Jokic MVP future has some value after watching Embiid last night. You're right. Are they really going to give him 3 straight, though? Harold Williams in the house. Deshaun G says Vegas will win tonight. I'm certainly not going to bet them. Nasty Nate says, what's popping? And I've already bet the Wild first period, but I'm just focusing on the first period. Will the Wild have heavy legs late? It's a good question. North Ender 2-1 in college basketball last night. West Virginia and Missouri State. Missouri State was a thing of beauty. North Ender, I love it. There's Von Polo, fresh off his birthday. When Calgary wins the cup this year, they'll all be worth it, says Sky Dragon. I don't know what cup you're talking about. Is there a cup I don't know about? Is it Allen Cup? Is there a senior team in Calgary that will be playing for the Allen Cup? Because I don't know what cup you're talking about. Certainly not Lord Stanley's mug. Certainly not Lord Stanley's mug. I just hope for your benefit, Dennis, that the Calgary Flames make the playoffs. That's it. That is your Stanley Cup. If they can get in that second wild card spot, it's a celebration, Dennis. Whew, that would be incredible, eh? Wouldn't that be amazing? The Flames make the playoffs. Wow. Unbelievable. Look at that guy, Huberdeau. You know, he got a shot on goal last game. A shot on goal. Yep. He was a -1 with a shot on goal. Billy Friedrich in the house. All right, we got to get to work. Thank you for the shouts out to Carter. Means a ton. Let's see. I love that. I wish I could just sit here and read all these things. But also, my LASIK that I think I did 10 years ago is falling apart. I can barely see. Kako Kakinen confirmed for the Sharks. I'm going to have to get another fucking LASIK. And the big move, and that Creighton under, oh, God. My big move when I get LASIK surgery is no insurance. The doctors pretend they've never heard anything like it. They're like, what do you mean no insurance? They're like, 1 year, 2 year, 3 or 4. And I'm like, how about no years? And they're like, this is your eyes we're talking about. And, it's a risk. It's a risk when someone cuts up your eyes to have no insurance. But I'm ready for that gamble again. I'm ready for it again. Philly team total over 25.5 for Gary. I'm going to prefer to move on the totals live. I think I'm just going to bet the Eagles to win. But you know what, Gary? I'm going to write that down too. Maybe that's something I should. The thing about that is we know what Mahomes is going to do, and they're going to have long, long drives. And there's Brizzy. He's got to love that. Okay, we got to get to work. Andrew has an Eagles future ticket and not hedging. Plan on hammering a few prop bets. Yeah, no, I get it. If you trust, you like it. Almost ladylike. Oh, no. Let's say it ain't so. DGY, 3 first rounders? Come on, man. I hope that's not the case. Okay, we got to get to work. I would love to read all of this, man. I just, the most important thing about this show is you guys, the chat. And so I wish I could read all of this, but we got to get to work. Thank you, Wally, my man. Let's get to work. Cashman says, any news on Super Bowl squares? We're not sure what to do now because it's so late. But in saying that, we could open up a board right now. Sky Dragon wants -110 on what? On them making the playoffs? I'll have to study that a little more. Because the last thing I want to do, TG, the last thing I want to do is have the Calgary Flames make the playoffs and have to send you a congratulatory $100 or $200. I'm telling you, I can't think of anything that would bother me more than having to send you money so you can celebrate those ass clowns making the second wild card spot in the playoffs. That sounds like that sounds horrible. That sounds like one of the worst possible scenarios I can imagine. And but I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Okay, so so it's up to you guys here. So I will listen right now. Do you? Yeah, it's Carter's birthday. Thank you, Turnsy, my man. Okay, there's the doorbell ringing. So whoever's trying to get in the house can. So here we go, and I'm sorry for this long intro, but I kind of love the opportunity to cap with you guys so much. But here we go. Do we want Super Bowl squares? If you guys want Super Bowl squares, we'll start with a $25 board. I know it was a $10 board mentioned before. That's just not going to work in here. If we do, we can do a $25 board. If that fills up, we'll do a $50 board. But we'll do a $25 board right now. Let me grab this here. This is the information. So, God, I gotta get this up here. So these are the. Let's see if I can't. So this is where you would send it to. Are you serious? Am I not? Here, let me move this over here. Okay, $25 board. Now, if we don't get enough people to buy in, and we'll start pushing it more. If we get people here that want to do it, we'll push it more. And so $25 squares. Dan Kelly says, I want a $100 board. Let's just see if we get people who want to come in for 25. And then if so, we'll do a $100 board. We could have a $100 board right now, but I'm not sure because we're kind of late on this. So this is Pub Sports. This is the Cash App right there. And at Southtown Southtown 101 is our PayPal. $25 squares. $25 squares. We'll start with that. And if we get enough, I'll push it hard. So just send it there and we'll go from there and we'll start building it. And we'll start talking about it. Okay, let's get to work now. And I'm sorry for the long intro, but I feel like I could sit here with a 4-hour show, no problem. I love this shit. I'm pumped up. I'm very, very excited. Let's get to work in NHL. Your first guest will be joining me in San Antonio. I love it. We'll be drinking heavily and playing NBA Jam Tournament Edition the night before we head to the airport. Hopefully he's not already down a couple hundo there. But I can't wait to rock with him in San Antonio. I enjoyed it enormously. Jay Stone in the house. I love it. Let's get to work here. Bring on your first guest from dirty Belleville, Ontario. Please welcome. And I mean dirty in all the right ways. Mr. Gogster to the show. Gogster, what's happening, my man?
What's going on, guys? How are we doing today, Jimmy? Good to see you. Good to be back. Yeah, it's we know it's crazy stat for the day here. It's 2 degrees right now, and it's 5 degrees in Phoenix, Arizona. Is that not crazy right now? Global warming. But anyway, so yeah, no, it's good to be alive. Good to be here. Chat. Let's do what we normally do. Jimmy, happy birthday to Carter. I want to wish you happy birthday to Carter there, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. Mike M says, "Oh, raw dog." Unfortunately, I wasn't there for that nickname being created in Costa Rica. Yeah. I had pneummonia. I was knocked out and missed that glorious trip where he was given
a lot of cervezas.
Name raw dog. Justin McElvey, we just wanted like another 24 hours to announce all the hotel possibilities, but so we're gonna give all the information here right away. We're way ahead of time still, so we'll get nice cheap prices. We're just trying to get some prices down right now for hotel.
One thing, guys, check your passports. That's one thing I had to do. Make sure your passport's not expired. That's the last thing you want is an expired passport. So just a TSA for that.
What an experienced traveler you are, Mr. Gogster.
Well, hey, I've had some crazy times, Jim. Lost luggage, delayed flights, and luggage not coming to me to Costa Rica. Just crazy times. So, you try to be prepared.
Also, another trick of Gogsters is don't bring any condoms on the trip. That's one of the Gogster tricks there. Travel condom free, lighten the luggage. right, Gogster?
Exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. You don't need the condoms, guys. You're not going to be back there. So just, live. You just got to live life, right, to the fullest. That's what
Just got to live life. Let's
Listen,
get to work, Mr. Gogster. Dennis's favorite hockey team is first up for us. Move this over.
Who is that? Who's this team?
That is the Calgary Flames.
Oh, your favorite.
And I don't have sadly we don't have a overlay for the Calgary Flames. This will be the one that we don't, but all the rest will have them. Okay. Let's get to work here. 7 p.m. Eastern, Calgary Flames 24-17-10, 10-8-8 on the road to Detroit Red Wings 21-28, 12-11-3 at home. We're at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. Great to have all you guys here. He says still a Leafs fan, fortunately. This is going to be so much fun. I'm pumped up. I'm pumped up about today. Pumped up.
Same, buddy.
Clint loving the gambling that our Mr. Gogster is delivering. Jacob Markstrom in net against Ville Husso. Let me know if I've made mistakes with the goaltending. I locked it in last night. Markstrom 13-6, 2.93 goals against average, 892 save percentage. And I like to point and laugh at him and his contract. Ville Husso 17-12-5, 3.03 goals against average, 900 save percentage, 3 shutouts. He's not looked very good of late, and his season has turned around, and I'm not sure who to blame that on. Turnsey says the Wings are cooked. We spent $30 million in cap space and are 2 points better than last year. Well, the reason for that is Tyler Bertuzzi, but we will discuss. We'll discuss Bertuzzi here in a second. Calgary power play this year. I'm not going to use the 10 games. I don't think it's helpful because of the All Star break.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Again, we're dealing with a betting NHL, and we're not using real. Is a team hot or not, or is the power play hot or not? We're kind of letting all that go. Calgary power play on the year 19.4%, penalty killing 82.3%. Detroit power play 19.5%, penalty killing at 76.8%. Let's go into the line history here. And I have made 3 bets, and this game is not one of them, but I came really close to fading the Wings. If I had have done that, I would be pretty angry right now because there's been a big market move towards the Red Wings. At 8:04 this morning, they were minus 170 were the Flames. We're talking, they're down to minus 150. They got down to minus 149 right now. So big 20-cent move there. This total opened up at 6, slightly juiced to the over. We've seen 6.5s pop on the board. And I did think about the over as well. I did think about it. And there is razor sharp picks with PJ watching over 1.5 3-pointers running real nice. Slotsy says Flames 6-0 last 6 meetings and 4-1 last 5 in Detroit. They need this to get in the playoffs. All right. Okay. Man. So the Flames started their post All Star break with their second loss in 3 games, 5-4 in overtime at the Rangers on Monday. As I said, Huberto, big game, 1 shot, -1. This year he's taking 1.65 shots per game.
God,
old Johnny Huberto, 1.65 shots per game, 115 points he scored last year. But again, that's in Florida when nobody's watching him and there's no pressure, and your center's Alexander Barkov. Now he's got to play hockey in an intense market where everybody's watching him, and his coach is one tough hombre. And what happens now? Well, we all see what happens now. He has 2 points in his last 6 games, and he's a -4. Red Wings opened up their post-All-Star break with their second straight loss, 5-2 at home versus the Oilers on Tuesday. I took a good look at that game. I was on the Oilers in that game -1 with confidence. And the Wings didn't lose as bad as the score indicated. It was 3-2 until 4 minutes were left. They outshot the Oilers 32-27. And Tyler Bertuzzi scored his second goal of the year. If he would heat up, not only would they give a trade opportunity for the Wings, because every team in the league wants a Tyler Bertuzzi, even though he's been so bad this year. Also, Philip Hronek was an issue. He was injured in practice on Sunday. He did play. These are 2 very healthy hockey teams. Take it away for us, Mr. Gogster, Flames, Red Wings.
All righty, great. Thanks for laying the table down there, Jim. Calgary, Detroit here, guys. I like the lean that you're talking about to the over there. You said so it was from 6 to 6.5. Looking at Husso and Markstrom, guys, both of these goalies have had 1 start since the All-Star break, and they both lost. Markstrom allowing the 5 goals to the Rangers, and then Husso allowing the 4 to Edmonton. And you're completely right. I watched a bit of that game too, Jimmy. Really feisty game. A lot of fights there. Bertuzzi, I saw him take down Kane there when he was going after Larkin. I think both of these teams got some. They're both pissed off here. Like with that game against the Rangers, Calgary, it was a battle of just Rangers at home are a tough team to beat. They got a much easier opponent here, guys, in Detroit. Defensively, Detroit's penalty kill here. Just looking at it, Jim, I got 78% overall on the road, so they're not the greatest team on the penalty kill. Defensively, I don't really like the makeup on their defense, guys, but offensively, they, like Jimmy said, they're completely healthy. First, second line can fire, even their third line with Perron and Villano. So, and then you got Zandina with Peel Sutter and then Oscar Sundqvist. So, where I'm going to go here, guys, I think both teams are going to come out firing here, Jim, early. So, what I'm going to do here, guys, I'm taking plus money. It is a really nice number I got. Just going to double check it's still available, but it's plus 170 on both teams to score in the first period, Jim. I'm expecting both teams to come out firing here just after those playing Edmonton and the Rangers. Those are two tough teams, and they didn't look that bad in them, Jim. Second game out here, I think we're going to see some offense in both the goaltenders, Markstrom and Husso. Husso, actually, it was his birthday the last game out, so he didn't play that bad too, Jimmy, in that game against Edmonton. He made some key saves. So with that being said, I think both these teams are volatile, and you got healthy hockey teams coming off tough losses. I'm going to take both teams to score first period, and that number is now plus 165. So it went down a little bit, Jim. Plus 165, brother.
I was a little surprised that it was quite as high as plus 170. If I'm leaning to an over, why wouldn't it be higher? Newkirker says Red Wings should bring back Nedeljkovic. We won't go there. It's a sore spot for Mr. Gogster.
Now you're going to make me Google him.
Let's go over to the line history just at Bet365 because I'm a little surprised that this total is sitting at 6 at minus 115. So there's been a 5-cent move in the opposite direction.
To the under, eh?
Why? Flatsy says any reason Veranda not being called up by the Wings after dominating the AHL? My answer to that, Slatsy, is I have a colleague who is also, a booze bag. And he cleaned himself up. Now he's off the wagon again, but he cleaned himself up. And I had to share a condo with him, and he had cleaned himself up. Now, this guy was an asshole, but, we all blamed it on the booze. Now he was clean. And I came in, and he was eating popcorn. And the popcorn was all over the floor. And he didn't give a fuck. He didn't care. So you could take the booze out of the bag, but the asshole still exists. And I think that's why he's not being called up to the NHL. Now, I don't know enough, but that's why
it's really, I'm just reading here. It says Verano's echoes very unlikely he rejoins the club this year. They're intent on moving him one way or another this offseason. So he's got 1 year left on his contract at $5 million.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure my analogy is there, but I have no proof that is the case. Why do we not bet the over 6 here?
I agree. I don't want to get too cute in the first period here, but I really do think they come out strong. But as the game goes on, it's tough coming back from this. You only have one game really, so I'm really going off, guys. Really, their last game out, and then also the penalty kill stats. And then I also actually have written down here, Jim, what they have going forward. So Detroit have Vancouver Saturday and Monday, home and road, and then Calgary have at Buffalo and at Ottawa. So I lean towards. I have a slight lean towards Calgary here, but it's too tough of a side. I think I expect there to be goals though. I really do in this game, guys. How strong I feel about it, not as strong as some other plays I may have on this card, but I do expect there to be some goals, and I already have bet the plus 170. So,
well, I'm going to and this is something we don't do anymore, but I am going to look at where the cash is on this total here. So we have on the total, 2,471 tickets in, and we have 62% of tickets on the total and 44% of cash.
I'm talking Calgary, Detroit there, my guy, Chip.
So
Calgary,
I'm going to leave that with question marks right now. But I do feel like goals are going to be scored in this one. Mr. Gogster's locked in. First period, both teams to score at plus 165. Let's move on. 7 p.m. Eastern. The San Jose Sharks, 16-25-11, 10-13-4 on the road. The Florida Panthers, 25-22-6, 14-7-3 at home. Florida Live Arena and Sunrise. And we heard that Kaapo Kähkönen will be in net for the Sharks. And there's some ugly numbers in goaltending. This feels, now we're getting back to sort of like the 80s, where you have Darren Pang with a 3.8 goals against average and a 868 save percentage. Kähkönen, 3.84 goals against average, 874 save percentage, 1 shutout. Bobrovsky, 13-13-2, 3.17 goals against average, 900 save percentage, 1 shutout. Sharks special teams have been good all year, and they've been good on the road all year. Well, good enough, 10-13-4.
Yeah.
20.4% power play, 82.4% penalty killing. Florida, 23.8% power play, 75% penalty killing. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one and move over. Here we go. So we have the Panthers opening up at -218. They're now -207. So we have a very similar move to what just happened in the Calgary game, where over the last hour or so, the market's been moving towards the dog. Totals wise, this opens up at 7. Wow. So this was 7 with regular juice too for a while today. Now the under started getting hammered. Wow.
That's Florida of last year, Jim. I remember last year there were a lot of 7s on the board for them.
Slats says looks like Panthers about to make a run. Last 3 games, Sharks Panthers have gone to OT. Over is now 7. Sweaty Butcher has his Butcher's prime cut. San Jose, Florida over 6.5 -125. And Billy Brisbane says, are the Panthers parlayable? Let me say this first off before we get into the full breakdown, is that Barkov got hurt in the last game.
Yeah.
So we don't know. Now, he wasn't in that last game. Dale shot the light. No, he was. How much did he play? Let me just pull this up. Let's see how much he played in that last game, because he wasn't on the score sheet. So he got hurt blocking a shot, and it's a hand injury. Will that affect him with face-offs? Will that affect him? It's obviously going to affect his shot. So let's just see what his numbers were if in that box score very quickly. They're also coming off a 7-1 beatdown of their biggest rival. So that's another thing that I wouldn't want. I don't want anything to do with the Panthers. I guess when it comes down, Barkov played 14 shifts in 10 minutes before he got hurt.
Yeah.
So
3 shots on goal. He won 5 faceoffs, lost 6 faceoffs. So that's not like him.
Jack Cal says, if you are betting, you are in a world of hurt. If somebody doesn't know in that sentence that it's U''RE, then we don't need to listen to his lifetime guidance.
Very well said.
We prefer to listen to people with intellects, Jack Cal. Okay, let's get back to work here. Setting the table, the Sharks opened up their post-All Star break with an impressive 4-3 overtime win at Tampa on Tuesday. They came back from a 3-1 first period deficit, but they were outshot 37-22. Timo Meier scored twice. Carlson, I can't understand exactly what happened to the Lightning. Now, I was only on the first period, and I kept everything clean, and I've been talking about that quite a lot lately, keeping things clean.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know how they fell apart. The Panthers opened up their stretch drive with a very impressive demolishing of the Lightning 7-1 at home. Matt Tkachuk had 2 goals and 3 assists. He's an absolute monster. I felt in this game was extremely difficult. If you're talking about a Panthers team that lost Barkov and beat up their biggest rival, well, I don't want them right after that. And I guess the Sharks are maybe the play. Take it away for us here. Gogster, Sharks, Panthers.
They're the more so. I'm leaning towards the Sharks here. Yeah, after that win, I just like you. I don't like really taking a team after that 7-1 win, and also missing your captain. Looking at the San Jose goaltending situation, guys, Reimer is not the goalie they want. Reimer's been really bad, Jim. 5 goals, 3 goals against Detroit, Carolina. They've won their last 2 games, I believe it is here. I was just pulling it up. San Jose, they've won their last 2. Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay. Those are impressive wins. They've allowed 4 and 3, but they've scored 4 goals and 6 goals in the process. So I see where the lean is to the over. You know what? Maybe a San Jose team total over 2.5 might make some sense to me, Jim. I don't really think they're going to slow down. It's not like Florida's defense is that strong. Bobrovsky's a very up and down goalie, guys. So I'm just quickly bringing it up. It's minus 135 I'm seeing here, Jim. I don't have any action on this game, guys, but I'm leaning towards like a San Jose, even a first period, to be honest. This team's humming. They're just playing good hockey right now, and they're looking a lot healthier. Bonino, third line with Strome and Lindblom, who had the cancer for Philadelphia for the Flyers. Defensively, though, Jimmy, this team's just – you got Scott Harrington with Karlsson, then Vlasic, Pickles with Benning, and Ferraro and McDonald. So their defense is Swiss cheese. So I would lean towards a team total over on San Jose here, guys. 2.5. You can get it like no more than minus 130. And even a nice plus money here, I guess, Jim, on San Jose first period, or even them to score in the first period, guys. That I don't have any action on this game, but that's where I'd be looking. I think San Jose's goal scoring doesn't stop here. So
I find this a very coin flippy type of situation, especially if Barkov's not in the lineup. So I can understand any look on the over. I really can. But I do not feel comfortable with this hockey game at all. And I want to know so badly what's going on with the Panthers, with Barkov. I mean, he's so crucial to the story. Turnsey says San Jose over 2.5 is steady cash. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Yeah. And Sweaty Butcher's got his prime cut play today on the over 6.5. And Razor Sharp Picks donating a Pub Sports Radio membership. Thank you for doing that, our guy Razor. And he says for only $4.99 you can become a PSR member. We had a big meeting on the things that we're going to be adding to for membership and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff in the pipes for us. Are you making anything official here, Mr. Gogster? Do we roll on?
Man, I'll come back to this one, Jim, but I might pull the trigger on the team total over 2.5, and I'm going to look into even first period San Jose to score a goal.
Let's move on because this is a spot that I love. Now, a lot of people probably like the Kraken full game to bounce back here. And I get that. But for me, I want the Kraken first period because I can trust this club and I can 16-6-2 on the road. They've been so good on the road. And sure, they come off the break and they lay an egg against an Islanders team on the second half of a back-to-back. The Kraken lost the face-off battle 30-21 in that game. And it's really difficult playing on the road when you have no puck possession. Let's talk about the spot. Kraken 29-16-5, 16-6-2 on the road at the Devils, 33-13-4, 14-10-2 at home. Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. I love the idea of getting the Kraken first period at plus 125. It was my favorite spot on the board. I think the risk reward there is excellent, especially after being shut out. I love it.
The line's moving that way too, Jim. The line's moving heavy that way towards Seattle.
Let's take a look at the line history. I haven't seen it since I bet it here.
Heavy.
And this opened up with wow. Yeah, wow.
Heavy.
So, wow. Big move even of late. So the Kraken opened up at plus 142. They're now at plus 121. They were still at plus like 137 or so. The full game was plus 140, when it was available to me. Let's just see what it is right now. It's now at plus 135. No, it's at plus 120. Wow. Click on plus 120. Plus 120. And the first period is still at plus 125.
Wow, these lines are moving like crazy right now at the site I'm looking at. It's dropping, yeah. Same with Colorado.
That's got I would think that would be a mistake because here you had it with plus 140 and plus 125. And right now it's at plus 120 and at plus 125. I honestly think that there must be a mistake with the fact that the first period hasn't changed. That's wild. Jack Hughes is out week to week, says Slatsy and Rocco Rogers. That is horrible. I even have it written here that's so wonderful to see him healthy for a full season. I almost didn't write it too. I was like, he's never been healthy for a full season. It even crossed my mind not even to write this down in my notes. 67 points in 50 games. He's on pace for 100 this year. Oh, good
for the kid, eh? Playing some good hockey. Good to see, though.
No, if he can't make it through one season, it's man. I mean, if Jack Hughes and my 2-year-old son Carter went into the corner, I don't know who wins that battle. I mean, this guy's got to get some shoulder strength here, or he's not going to be able to play in this league. I don't know. Do you have Grubauer as your expected goaltender here, Mr. Gogster?
I got Jones I'll take a quick look, though.
That's who I expect is Jones. Vitek Vanacek on the other side, 22-5-4, 2.34 goals against average, 916 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Seattle power play 20.1%, penalty killing 72.5%. New Jersey Devils 20.8%, penalty killing 81.1%. Kraken coming off that ugly start to post All Star break, 4-0 to the Islanders. It was perfect. They did not play well, but I've been saying this over and over and over again, and I can't stop. Vince Dunn and Adam Larson are playing out of their mind. They're playing so well. This team loses 4-0. You know how many goals were scored when Vince Dunn and Adam Larson were on the ice? None. They've been so good this year.
Man, Dunn from Lindsay, Ontario. I've watched a lot of him. He was bad. Like he had a lot of problems defensively, Jim. So it's good to see like he's turning around because offensively he's great on the power play. Like he's got a great offensive mind. It was just defensively had troubles, but it's good to see he's playing better.
I think that the Kraken first period, if your line has not changed, I mean, that's just shock that Bet365 wouldn't have changed that.
I got a stat for you guys, too, about New Jersey in the first period that's even going to make you want to take Seattle more. So,
Barkov is out tonight. It's been announced Barkov is out tonight. Good thing that was talked about right off the top. I know that, our guy Billy Brisbane talking about does he want to move on using the Panthers as a piece. So you have the Panthers. We see this all the time, right? You lose your star player, they step up and dominate. Now they have to do it again. Wow. The great stuff, Slatsy. Great stuff. Sorry to interrupt. Take it away, Ghoster.
No. I'm just looking at this game, guys. What I wanted to do, Jim, is take both teams to score, to be honest, in the first period. As much as Seattle coming off that 4-0 loss, I even without, I'll bring up their lines really quickly here. I do want to take Seattle, though, too, Jim. I'll give you guys a stat here that's really in favor of Seattle here. New Jersey, Jim, at home, they are, or first period over-under, they're 6-16 to the over-under. So there's 16 times they've gone under, 6 times they've gone over, 4 times they've tied. So that tells me right away, guys, they're not first period. They don't come out scoring very often in the first. They're kind of a slow team to start. As the game goes on, they start scoring more. And then looking at Seattle, they're 13-9-2 to the over. I expect Seattle to come out scoring in the first. My only worry would be, I guess the Devils don't, but I feel like I am kind of forcing that both teams to score, guys. And I think, Jimmy, you're spot on with that first period. Coming off that 4-0 loss, the Devils, I've lost a lot of money, actually. Well, not a lot, but enough for me in the first period and for the Devils this year, guys. So I'm not going to try and go back to the Devils to score in the first. They could. I'm going to take first period, Jim. And you know what? Give me the full game, too. I'm going to do a double up spot here. I don't see why Seattle can't take down this Devil team. If you're looking at Vanacek here, guys, goaltending wise, he allowed 4 to Vancouver, 2 to Dallas. That game against Vancouver was obviously on the 6th. So I'm expecting there to be some goals here, but more so in agreement with Seattle, guys. They're a really, really good road team too. 16-6-2. Solid road team coming off a 4-0 loss to the Islanders. And the Islanders, guys, we'll talk about them in a sec, but Sorokin, he's had 2 shutouts back-to-back, so they just ran into a really hot goalie. They got a chance to even a team total over on Seattle. I wouldn't talk anyone off of, but I'm going to take first period, Jim. Whatever number you got it at, I'll take that as well. And I'm seeing plus 123 on the full game for Seattle.
I just want to see what Pinnacle has done with the first period here, because I'm shocked, absolutely shocked that Bet365 hasn't changed it when there's been a 20-cent move on the total.
It's probably coming. It's probably coming.
Let's just see here. So first period. So the Kraken at Pinnacle is now down to plus 117, and the first period is plus 113.
Yeah, that's exactly what I see.
And I am signed into my account at Bet365, and it's plus 125 for the first period. I mean,
I'm going to bet that right now. Okay, I'm going to take the plus 125, guys, on Seattle, and I'm going to take Seattle the full game at plus 123 at Bet Rivers there.
You are in, and I'm on that first period at plus 125. And Stimmy OG's on the under in that Detroit Calgary game, big. So there, interesting. So there you go.
It's an interesting game there, Stimmy. Yeah, I could see the under, but I took the first period, both teams to score early. Just after those losses, I expect them just to both come out just banging in the first, and both of them to score goals. So.
Let's keep rolling. There's our guy, Mally Mal. Says, family and friends, what up? I'm coming off a huge night. I love hearing that, Mally, my guy. Okay, so let's move on here. And this is, I didn't want to do this next move here. So let me just get this over here. I did not want to do this. There's no value in my estimation fading Philadelphia at home. And I don't think I've done it all year. I mean, I'd have to go over everything, but what I saw from the Oilers in their win against Detroit was everything I was hoping to see. Obviously, I've got futures on them, and they're a big part of my season now. But they won convincingly. Now, they were up 3-2 with 4 minutes left, but they win 5-2. They won, I should just say. Let's leave that. They won when McDavid got 1 assist and Draisaitl was held off the score sheet and was a -2.
Wow, that's something then.
That's what I want to see so badly from this hockey team, and I saw it. And because I saw it, I bet it again. Now, I wasn't sure if I was going to bet it again, and I should have gone in last night if I was going to do it. Some books open them up at a pretty high number. Some books open them up, so if we go to Pinnacle, Pinnacle opened up the Oilers here. Let me just grab it right here. Pinnacle opened up the Oilers at -180. Now they're just -183. Bet365 kind of screwed me. They opened it up at -170 though. 904. It moved to -200, and I'm like, oh god. So I'm on the -1, and it worked out to a -128 that I got. Mike M says one of the highest trends on the card. Flyers 16-0 puck line off a loss. I did not want to do this, but again, I don't think I'm going to be betting the Oilers at home. I don't. Maybe against good. I don't know what I'm going to do with the Oilers at home, but I think on the road, I'm just going to keep betting them. Andrew G says the Oilers to win the division still a nice price. What is it? Let's just check that out right now.
That's interesting. Yeah, no, they're a team that's if their goaltending it's like so many teams. Skinner and our guy here, who's the other goalie they have, Jim?
They have Campbell, Soupy Dump.
Soupy, yeah. That's the big thing. They took him from Toronto, signed him to that big contract. So it's just the goaltending.
Oilers are plus 260 to win the division right now.
Wow. Whew. That's tempting. That's very tempting. Because I just offensively, guys, this is probably one of the top 3 team offensively. If you're asking me in the league, the way McDavid and Draisaitl are, even the rest of the team with Kane and Darnell Nurse on the back end there. Where I'm going to go here, guys, Jim, I originally had Philly first period, but I can't trust. You're telling me that stat too about they didn't have McDavid and Draisaitl perform last game out, guys. So you can't keep as they say, good man down. So I'm going to take them to they're probably going to bounce back here. I expect them to bounce back, Jim. Philly should come out strong. They're coming off of a 2-1 loss to the Islanders. Again, a tough team. I'm going to actually go with Jim. Both teams to score again here, plus 145, Edmonton, Philly. That's where I'm going to go here because I do think Philly's going to score here. I think they're going to come out strong. That game against Detroit, they battled. I'm expecting Philly at home. What do I have here? 15 or they're 10-13-2. But even with those numbers, guys, there could be a healthier hockey team too, Jim. Both teams are. I'm taking both teams to score in the first period, and I feel comfortable with that one. Plus 145. As the game goes on, I expect Edmonton to win this one. But first period, give me Philly and Edmonton to score, guys. Plus 145.
All right, sorry, I'm just taking a bunch of notes here on Stimmy's look on the Cal Bears. I think it's a fascinating one. Let's grab this for you here. First period, both teams to score. Andrew, thank you for sharing that. I think I'm going to go back. I think I'm going to double dip on the Oilers to win the division. I'm going to study it a little bit more after the show, but
Andrew, yeah.
I think I'm going to double dip here. So Gogster is on the first period, both teams to score plus 145 on that one. Huh. Interesting. A lot of people on the Flyers on the puck line. I get it. Generally speaking, I probably don't make this bet, but I said a bunch of things about the Oilers, in our first show after the All Star break with Pistol, and then they did everything that I said. And they showed depth, and they just did everything. Now, sure, you're like, well, it's against the Red Wings, and that's totally valid. But I just feel like this is where we get the value with them on the road. I do not like fading the Flyers at home at all, but I did. So I'm on the Oilers -1. All of the trends are against us here. The Flyers 8-2 on 2 days rest. We have Mike M saying that the where was Mikey? Mike M's he had a great point, but I've lost it right now. One of the highest trends on the card, Flyers 16-0 to the puck line off a loss. Equanimus following that puck line. All of that, I get it. There's my guy, Officer of 50, Ayashi Alab, Robert Cherry in the house. What up? And I certainly, Mally Mal, I have a bad feeling that this is just going to end up a push with my -1. I've said enough. You guys know how I feel about this spot. And you know how I feel about the Oilers. And thank you, Andrew G, for sharing that Oilers to win the division. I find that a fascinating number right now.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And I think this Oilers offense, Jim, they've made a lot of changes. You got Derek Ryan, Holloway with McDavid, Koskinen. Their makeup guys. I think it's going to be good for the playoffs, Jim. I think they're going to be tough. They got strong. This is going to be a tough team to beat if they can just get strong goaltending. You know what? The Oilers have made some changes, and I think unlike Toronto, I think they're going to go deep in the playoffs here.
Well, I hope they make a trade for Tyler Bertuzzi.
That would be huge. But
I think every team in the league is staring at Tyler Bertuzzi. And if he heats up right now, I don't know how the Red Wings don't move him, but he's got to be a piece of the puzzle moving forward. He's just, I'm just not in the room with him. Okay, so let's keep rolling. This next one is wildly fascinating. 7 p.m. Eastern, Colorado Avalanche 27-18 and 4, 14-9-1 on the road at Tampa Bay Lightning, 32-16 and 2, 24-2 at home. 24-2 at home. And here they're coming off back-to-back 2 losses to start out the second half. I mean, that's wild. Amalie Arena in Tampa, Florida. When I say that out loud, I'm like, well, how do you not bet Tampa Bay? The problem is, the Avs opened up with a 2-1 loss in overtime, Pittsburgh. And I guess why would I be afraid to back Tampa here in the, Stanley Cup? Rubenga, Georgiev, Vasilevsky. Georgiev with better numbers than Vasilevsky right now. We know that Vasilevsky every season for him is like age is like a fine bottle of wine. He's the equivalent of the big ragu as a capper. I mean, every game gathering more information and making smarter bets.
They're both from Florida, right? So there you go.
Well, Ragu, he's New York. He's New York, but he has moved down to horse country. Colorado power play 23.9%, penalty killing 77%. Tampa Bay power play 26%, penalty killing 79.6%. Lee Davis looking at the under here. That's a really interesting take.
Boom, 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 boom.
Okay, why don't you jump in? Let me just add this though. The Avs lost 2-1 in overtime at Pittsburgh on Tuesday, and that was a spot where Pete was like, well, of course, there's a perfect spot for Pittsburgh. And it was, he's a great capper. So much fun to work with all these guys. But the Avs put up 42 shots, but they were out hit 38-21. Yeah. This team needs their captain and their toughness in Landeskog back. You can't get out hit 38-21.
Dirty hit. Do you see that hit from Carter on Makar?
I did, yeah.
That was kind of suspect.
Well, look, how else do you beat the Avs?
Well, I know. That's old school. That's old school hockey right there.
Tampa Bay opened up their second half in ugly fashion, losing 7-1 at Florida on Monday before losing 4-3 in overtime at home to San Jose on Tuesday. Take it away, my man. Floor is yours, Gogster.
Yeah, Georgiev, guys, this is a really strong goalie. Same with Vasilevsky, but when they had that loss against Pittsburgh, it was Francouz and net. There with Georgiev, guys, this team, all they do is win, as they say. Just bringing up his game logs here real quick. He's won his last 4 games, Jim. Even on the road, this is a solid goalie. Where I'm going to go here, guys, when you're having also Vasilevsky coming up 7 goals, when was the last time Vasilevsky allowed 7 goals, especially the state rival game? So it was his first game back from the All Star where he played a lot in that All Star game. So I give him a bit of benefit of the doubt there, kind of like a horse kind of coming off their first run or something like that, Jim. I expect Vasilevsky bounce back. Same with Georgiev here. Cagey game. Both teams are coming off a loss. This is going to be Georgiev's first start, but I'm not too worried. He's 14 The team's 14-9 on the road, and then the 20-4. This is going to be a cagey affair. I'm not going to do a triple up, but I'm going to do a early double up. I'm going to do the no goal, Jim. I've already bet it plus 100 first 9 minutes, and I'm taking the under 1.5 plus 122 first period, guys, in this game. Just expect it to be coming off 7 goals, and then even Colorado guys coming off that 2-1 loss. This is going to be a lower scoring game. I could even see overtime in this one. I had written down as well, Jim, but I know Colorado came off an overtime loss against Pittsburgh. So even with that being said, I do think this is going to be a low scoring game, guys. Just the goaltenders, I expect them to shine here, and the offenses just to be accountable. Our defenses, the defense is going to be accountable. Offenses are great. Don't get me wrong, Jim, because power plays are definitely. They're like 30% I have here. So, I'm going to lean with the under. I'm not going to lean with the under. I'm taking the first period, guys, and no goal first 9.
As soon as this opened up a Pinnacle at 6 minus 121 to the over, it lasted a minute before they moved it up to 6.5.
I know.
Then by 2:28, it was back to 6, and the unders being getting bad.
So that tells me what, like a little sharp action came in on the over there, Jim? Is that what you would assume, or?
Oh, I think the immediate bets were on the over, and then it flipped. I'm not entirely sure how much credit to give that early action. I do give it more than the late action, obviously. Lee Davis says Avs 13-2 to the under versus teams with a winning record. I love this look that you guys have. I love it.
I do think it's a lower scoring game. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Now, let's. I'd like you to answer a very important query, or he's not his query because he's saying it straight up here. And then we'll move on because your answer will give me make the decision whether I move on because I like the first period under 1.5 and I like the under full game now. But he says teams like the Lightning have zero motivation in the regular season. Well, now in the regular season, or at this point, once they've done, decent, pretty much 100%, they're playing the Leafs in round 1. Do you think there's motivation here for the Lightning to beat the other? Because a team with this kind of Stanley Cup pedigree. Are they sitting there wanting revenge against the Avalanche on Thursday, February 9th?
I think this is a perfect spot for them. And just coming off that, when you're coming off 7-1 loss to Florida, and it was with Vasilevsky, and it was their first game back, and now you got Colorado. If there's not a time, Tampa Bay's fired up, guys. Tampa Bay's fired up as all hell, in my opinion, for this game. So I almost lean towards Tampa Bay too, Jim, but I expect it to be the lower scoring game, but no, I would, I could see them kind of being lackadaisical at certain points of the season. But again, when you're coming off a 7-goal loss, that's just not, you come back to the office the next day, like you're a little teed off.
They didn't bounce back. They lose 4-3 in overtime.
Sorry. You're right. They to San Jose. So so the game against, sorry, Jim. They had the Florida 7-1 guys, and the 4-3 loss to San Jose, which is another wake up call. It's just like I would be looking towards Tampa Bay in this game, but with the goaltending situation here, Colorado defensively, Jim, I have no worries with them really defensively at all. Health wise, still just Manson and Helm. This team's getting a lot healthier, and obviously still Landeskog, but I would lean towards Tampa Bay in this game, and I like the underlooks early. I like them early. As the game goes on, I still don't think it hits the 6.5 or 6, but early in this game, coming off 7 goals, you're not messing around in the first.
This is a tough one, and I know we all have to deal with this. So you're watching me deal with this now. And Slatsy, they did tie it up at 1, so it was 3-1. And Rich H saying cup rematch is a thing. I agree.
And you're coming off 2 losses, and then what you allowed 5 to. That was with Elliott in net though for the game against San Jose. But even so, defensively allowing 4 to San Jose and then 7 to Florida, and you got a rematch.
If I was to bet the first period under 1.5, the under 6, and the Lightning, I would have too much invested in this game. I could cut it down to 3/4 or a half.
I think I got it, Jim. What about this? What about the Colorado team total under?
Well, no, because I like the Lightning as well to bounce. Oh, sorry, Colorado. Sorry, I'm not thinking.
Colorado, yeah.
Colorado team total under.
2.5 plus 115.
This reminds me of an over though, where I don't want to get cute and I want both teams involved. I kind of feel that way with the under here, but the under 2.5. Wow, plus 135.
Even better, yeah. That's where I would be looking. Yeah, like I don't see Vasilevsky, guys. We've been watching this guy for so long. He doesn't mess around coming off of a loss. He just allowed 7 goals. He went, and like I said, he was at the All Star game too. So he was. Whenever you're at the All Star game, that was probably a good spot to fade him. Actually,
yeah, he shouldn't have been starting there.
No, so I think he's going to bounce back here. Even in Colorado,
I don't think he was. What, are you sure that he was? I thought he started. Which one?
He was in for the Florida game. I have here 7-1 loss. He allowed 7 goals, and then the San Jose game he wasn't in net for.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Why would they have started Vasilevsky? Not for, I guess because they were playing Florida, and I guess he thought okay.
Yeah. But I don't think Colorado, I honestly, Jim, I thought Colorado was going to come out stronger in that game against Pittsburgh. But when they had Francouz in net, that kind of kept me off it. With Georgiev in net, it's tough. I think it's a lower scoring game. That's my first instinct, and I can't get talked off it really. I do think Tampa can win this game, but the under early and even a Colorado, like an under 3, what they got to get 4 to beat. Yeah, I don't see that happening.
I'm going to get myself involved. This was a fun breakdown.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, I'm going to get involved. Gogster's got no goal first 9 and plus 100. First period under 1.5 plus 122. I'm going to get involved with the Lightning. I'm also going to get involved in an under, at least one under, maybe 2, but at least 1. Because the only thing that makes I think maybe leaning towards the under 6, if it's 2-0 Lightning after the first period. The Lightning are going to park the bus, and
I don't see Colorado caught like that 2-1. Like they got their goalie in net now. They had Francouz. He didn't play bad against the Islanders. This is just 2 really good hockey teams here, even though they don't have Landeskog, Colorado. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm leaning towards Tampa Bay, how healthy they are, and coming off those 2 brutal losses, and you got a rematch in the Cup. Yeah.
Okay, well, we got to keep rolling. We're and I mean, I could sit here all day with these games and keep discussing, but we got a big, just a 4-game NBA card, but 11-game NCAA card with CMac. So let's move on. Next up for us is the Knuckleheads, 20-27-4, 10-14-3 on the road at the New York Islanders, 27-22-5, 16-9-2 at home, UBS Arena in Elmont, New York. I was thinking last night, I was like, I don't care that Bo Horvat is not on the Canucks, and I was like, why? Why do I not care? And when Linden was traded to the Islanders, it was a sad day for the city. And I'm like, why? And maybe it's just because I'm older now and I don't know why. But I was like, you know what? The fact that he just was so spectacular because we didn't give him a contract made me angry. But he's probably in a good spot now. Colin Delia in net for the Knucklehead, 6-3-1, 3.11 goals against average, 893 save percentage. And Delia has been better than Spencer Martin. They're both trash. Sorokin, 17-16-4, 2.31 goals against average, 926 save percentage, 5 shutouts. Vancouver, 22.5% power play, 66.4% penalty killing. The penalty killing is actually getting a little better with Rick Tocchet, because if you make a mistake out there and you come back to the bench and Rick Tocchet gives you the eyes, you get a little nervous. When Bruce Boudreau, when Boudreau does it, it's not the same. Sorry, what were you going to say, Gogster?
Sorry, I was just going to say he also has a stick in his hand. He gives you the butt end of it if you're messing around, right in that spot, right in the back. So, yeah, it's different coaching.
Yeah. Lee Davis says Vancouver 5 straight overs, New York Islanders 5 straight unders. Slatsy says Horvat will get Barzal going.
Good point.
I don't know if that's the case. Horvat's not your traditional pass first centerman. He's not. I mean, if you think of what's your prototype pass for center? Igor Larionov. Like you can't find anything more different than the way Bo Horvat plays the center. And look, how long did it take Barzal to score his first goal? 25 games. But I'll be very interested to see. But maybe Horvat's perfect because he wins faceoffs and he shoots, and Barzal's the passer. So maybe I haven't thought this out quite enough. But let's go. Canucks are on the second half of a back-to-back. They played okay in their first 2 games post All Star break. They lose 5-4 in overtime at Jersey on Monday. Then they lose 4-3 at the Rangers. I love that from Rich H. He says, "Hard to feel pain when it's all you've known." But for a decade, Rich, what are you 25 years old? Try being 43. The Islanders are 2-0 in the Bull Horvat era. They won 2-1 at Philly on Monday. Then they followed up with a 4-0 win over the Kraken on Tuesday. BJ says he likes Wagner for that first NCAA game. We're going to break that game down, and I'm interested in betting it too. But let's hear what Mr. Gogster had to say. I think that the blind rage affects me with certain teams, and it affects me here with the Knuckleheads. And I honestly don't see a ton of value fading the Nucks just because they can score. And I like Dahlia better than Spencer Martin, and they want to play well here. And I'm sure the Islanders want to stick up for Bo. What are you doing here?
Yeah, this. I'm telling you, Horvat, I think, was the perfect piece, Jim, for this team. Like fitting in with Barzal, Bailey, Lee, Nelson, Palmieri. Like they're all kind of a little bit. They're not younger guy. Like it's just an older team. I think he fits in perfectly with. Really, you got Pajot, Parise. I think that defensively, this team's going to be really tough to beat. They've only added, and then you got Pelech, Polak, Romanov. They brought in from Montreal, Mayfield. You know what? I could see them making a push in the second half, this Islander team, because if you're looking at Sorokin, guys, shutout. He's coming off back-to-back shutouts. Where do I have it here? The one was after the break against Seattle, then against Detroit, Jim, on January 27th. So Sorokin, even after playing in the All Star game, was able to still perform. So I don't know how I don't take the Islanders, to be honest here. Like I know the Vancouver's been scoring, but I'm seeing a minus 140 on regulation for the Islanders. Tough for me not to take it. I just think this goaltending advantage is super strong in the favor of Sorokin over Dahlia, Jim. He can maybe perform a couple games out of the blue here, Dahlia, or even Martin, but long-term, both of these goalies, they're very hard to trust. Coming off the schedule spot here too, I believe they played 2 games, right, since the All-Star break? Yeah, it's their 3rd game in 4 nights, so it's going to be tough
for both squads.
You're right. Sorry, valid for both squads. Only, I guess, advantage would be Islanders didn't play last night, but defensively, this team's fine, the Islanders, and they're going to make it tough for Vancouver, I think, here, Jim. So I'm gonna add this. I wasn't going to, but it's tough though. It's tough because you know what, I can see Vancouver. Maybe you know what, I'm gonna stay off this one. A money line parlay with the Islanders because I could see this going to overtime. I don't know. I got a weird feel because I really want to take the Islanders here, Jim, but I'm gonna stay off it. I'm gonna stay off because you just never know what the Island or what Vancouver is going to bring, after losing their captain there. I'm going to stay off this. I got a weird feel about it.
Well, after talking it out, I'm thinking of betting the Islanders on the puck line.
Really, eh?
Yeah, after talking it out, it just feels like
I know. I guess it almost feels too easy almost to take the Islanders here.
I didn't want them on the puck line against the Rangers. I love Pelech and Polak. I love him. I think, and then you have Noah Dobson, who's going to be a star. And they're playing Noah Dobson on the 3rd defensive unit right now. We've got to move on here, but Lucas, I love making a few clothing pieces for Bubba Palooza. We got to move on, but I think I'm going to add the Islanders minus 1.5.
I get it. I'm just gut feel and just doing this as long. I just think it's too easy, Jim. And a lot of times when I feel like it's too easy, I usually lose. And I never win a puck line. I'm like 1 in 75. So I don't want to take the puck line and jinx here. So I'll just stay off this.
Okay, I think I'm going to add that. Like, I didn't want the puck line with the Rangers. I thought that was kind of this looks too easy. It's not going to work out that way. I didn't want the Devils against the Canucks. But now, with the Islanders playing the way they are and the playoffs being a legit possibility now, they've got to keep winning, and the Pens have a bunch of games in the hand. You know what would be probably the better future look from the NHL would be to reach the playoffs, because with the games that the Penguins have in the hand, the Islanders are plus 210 to make the playoffs. And then you don't need to. Now, if they make the playoffs, they might be tough to beat. But I mean, if they play Carolina in the first round, or Boston in the first round with one of the wild card spots, would you have confidence in the Islanders in that spot? And the answer is no. So maybe it's just Islanders to make the playoffs.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know, Jim. This game's tearing me apart here right now. Vancouver. I want to take the Islanders, but something's telling me not to do it. So, but I really want to take the Islanders, but I'm staying off it.
Well, let's get to the final game on the board. We don't have Nasty Nate saying, you guys, it's an hour and 10 minutes into the show, and you guys are still talking hockey.
Get out of here. It's basketball time, you bunch of Canucks. Get out of here.
8 p.m. Eastern, final game on the board. Vegas Golden Knights 30-18-4, 16-5-4 on the road. Minnesota Wild 27-18-4, 15-8-1 on the road. I didn't talk the line history here in that last game. While we're still got Vancouver Islanders here, I'm just going to touch on the line history because it's still on the screen. We have the Islanders opening up -218 and now -219, so no movement there. This total opened up at 6.5, and so there's been no market movement in this game.
Yeah, I don't know what to do.
It's interesting. Let's talk about the final game on the board before we get into NBA and then into NCAA basketball. And it is Vegas Golden Knights, Minnesota Wild. Wild opening up at -114 and now -113. When I moved on them in the first period, they were at -115. So there's not much of a change there. This total opened up at 5.5, -115 to the over. There's been no change there either. Excel Energy Center in St. Paul, Minnesota. Logan Thompson going up against Marc-Andre Fleury. Fleury 16-11-3, 2.88 goals against average, 905 save percentage, one shot. He's not been very good. Logan Thompson 19-13-3, 2.69 goals against average, 913 save percentage, 2 shutouts. I wonder what he does here. I really do wonder what he does. Bucks just got Jay Crowder. It says BJ. Yeah, they've been trying to get him here for a while, but I mean, he hasn't played a game all year, so we'll have to. It's going to take him a while to get right if it's in there. Vegas 23% power play, 79.4% penalty killing this year. Minnesota with almost identical numbers. Vegas snapped their 4-game losing streak with an impressive 5-1 win at Nashville on Tuesday night. God, Nashville. They outshot Nashville 30-17. It's just they're playing without Mark Stone. Eichel was held off the score sheet, and he's taking a ton of flack, but he did take 5 shots on goal. 4 more than Huberdeau. The Wild are on the second half of a back-to-back after losing their second straight post-All-Star break 4-1 at Dallas last night. Came on the heels of a 3-2 loss to Arizona on Monday. Now, they outshot Dallas 39-37. They out-hit them 24-14, and they lose. There's no scoring after the first period. Jay Stone says definitely don't trust the Flower. I just think this is an angry Wild team, very angry Wild team. And I don't know if they're going to have legs in this third period because of the back-to-back and after the All-Star break. So I just cut it down to 1 period of play for them to take care of business. And that was my final bet. One that I was quite confident in as well. And I got -115 on the first period. Take it away, Mr. Gogster, last game on the board.
That's another really tough one here, Jimmy. I had it written down here, guys. Originally, Vegas first period, I was going to do team total over 2.5 money line, but more I looked at it, just this spot for Minnesota. Yeah, they've lost their last 2. They're scoring. They're not putting the puck in the back of the net. The biscuit there. I don't feel strong enough on this one, guys. I do have a lean though towards Vegas originally. I think this is gonna be a better second half team, Jimmy. I really do. Paul Cotter, he's a young player. I think he's only be getting better. He's on the first line there with Eichel, Marchessault. Then that second line, they got Amadio, another young kid here with Carlson and Riley. Defensively, I still like this team defensively, Jimmy. They've been banged up all year. They're getting a lot healthier. They got Whitecloud back, Theodore. You know what? This team, I think, could be a second half team too, Jim, just if they can stay healthy. And then another question I've had all year is where the hell's Brossoit? I've heard Brossoit coming back for like the last month or 2, but he still isn't back. So I guess they're really just going with Thompson and Aiden Hill, who looked really good against Nashville. So I lean towards Vegas here, Jim, full game money line, but maybe even an under. But I can't play this one. I got enough action on the card. Don't want to put the hard-earned money on this game. I'm going to just watch it.
Well, let's review all action. I just want to discuss very quickly here the Islanders situation because it's not, Pittsburgh has 4 games in hand. That's not good, and they're tied. And then the Sabres have 4 games in hand, and they're back 3 points. And there's a lot of people who think the Sabres are about to make a run into the playoffs. Then the Panthers are 3 points back with 1 game in hand would it surprise you if the Panthers got hot here? They're going to be a part of this story, whether or not they get in the playoffs. I believe they're going to be a part of this story. So I think the Capitals fall out, and I need them to because I got their under point total, and I got them not to make the playoffs. What did the Penguins do? I think Penguins are a tough one. That's not a slam dunk that the Islanders make the playoffs. But
right now, Pittsburgh, if they don't get a healthy Yari, they're not going anywhere. So I would be leaning towards like I said, the Islanders to have a great second half. Washington. I was thinking Washington would be doing a little bit better, but they've been banged up all year too. I do like their goalie situation a lot better than Pittsburgh right now. So, I do think the Islanders win this game, Jim. I'm going to stay off it. And then even this Vegas Minnesota game, guys, it's a tough cap. I do lean towards Vegas though.
All right, just sending a quick message to CMac regarding time here for when he's going to jump on. Let's review all action here in NHL. Move on to NBA. So, Gogster, first period, both teams to score at plus 165. And I had hesitation on the over in the Calgary-Detroit game anyways.
Yeah.
And seeing Stimmy OG on the under is enough for me to comfortably move off of it. By the way, Blackwood first off the ice for the Devils. That's great news for us.
Yeah, that is good news.
Because we're on the crack, but we'll get there in a second. Then Sweaty Butcher's prime cut is San Jose, Florida over 6.5. I'm off that game, San Jose, Florida. I do not feel comfortable there. I'm on the Kraken first period at plus 125. Gogster got the Kraken first period at plus 125 and the full game at plus 123. And I don't know how Bet365 left that up there. And we said, well, they'll fix that. So let's go over there right now and just see, did they fix that here for the Kraken first period?
They're probably lazy.
They have not fixed that.
No.
They've not fixed that, and the Kraken are down to plus 115 for the full game. So if anybody has Bet365, I think that's a
advantage of it, yeah.
Then Gogster's got first period to score. Edmonton, Philadelphia, both teams at plus 145. I'm on the Oilers -1, and I have interest in the Oilers winning the division again. I've already bet them from the beginning of the year, but I'm thinking of moving on them again. And then Lightning, first period, under 1.5, and the under 6. And the Lightning, I don't want to bet all three, but I'm thinking about it. Gogster's got no goal first 9, and first period under 1.5 in Colorado, Tampa. The Islanders to make the playoffs plus 210, something I'm going to be thinking about today, but I need to make a decision before, obviously, puck drop. And then Islanders on the puck line, I'm going to add the Islanders on the puck line. Then I'm on the Wild first period, and that concludes our NHL breakdowns for today. Mr. Gogster, great work. I'm very excited to pick you up wherever I pick you up, bring you back to the spot, have some drinks, play a little NBA Jam, and get excited for San Antonio.
Can I just drive the car right there? You got a park, like a spot I can park?
Definitely.
All right, perfect. Then I'll just drive right there, bro.
Yeah, man. You don't need to leave it in Parkdale anymore, man. Come back. No tires.
Yeah, tires won't be slashed. I'll still have the stuff in the car after. So, no, that'll be great.
I love it. And Billy Friedrich says, make sure you don't stop for condoms.
No, fuck condoms, bro. Come on.
Right.
Yeah, you live and you learn. You don't need them.
Mr. Gogster, follow him on Twitter at EGO47_. Gogster, any last words for the Capper Sport in the chat?
Oh, just guys, let's keep doing what we do. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Hopefully we can keep cashing tickets and we learned something from today's show. And I'll see you next Thursday, Jim, and golf show, guys, every Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Myself, Connor Mack. We got picks on this Waste Management Open that I'm watching. So, golf and hockey, baby. That's what I'm all about.
Let's get it. There he is, Mr. Gogster. He will be starring at many events in San Antonio, especially he will be starring in the Par 3 tournament. He wants his name on the trophy. Let's move on to NBA. Yesterday was very disappointing because the Raptors' first half team total under 62.5 and the Warriors' first quarter team total under 29.5. They were great bets. And if the Pacers Heat game had gone under, which it looked like it was going to go under, especially, there was some higher scoring first half, but that third quarter was so low scoring, and they barely scored for the first 9 minutes of the fourth quarter. It looked like it was in business, but foul garbage at the end hurt that and made it go over. And that was disappointing. So a 3-3 day, down 0.3 units, cash to Washington, Charlotte under, but lost with the Hornets +4 and 76ers +4.5. Luis says, I told you to go for Boston covering the spread and the unders. You were right. The under was a gift. Now, Jaylen Brown getting hurt did change that game. But, Embiid and Harden have to do more, and that bench did nothing. Maxey was 3 of 14 from the field. You get to the point now watching some of these guys, are you going to step up or not? And they certainly didn't step up. And Embiid needs to score 35 plus against the best team in the league. You can't score 28 points. And then Tobias Harris, I don't even know how good he is anymore. The more I watch him, I'm like, is he even a good basketball? It was frustrating. It was frustrating not to cash it. All right, let's get to work here in NBA. And this is a part where your guys' insights is absolutely crucial here. Absolutely crucial. So I'm going to be watching very closely at your thoughts, very, very closely here. And I will highlight them as best I can, but I'm going to be doing this solo, so it will be a little more difficult. Let's get to work. Start 7 p.m. Eastern. Denver Nuggets 38-17, 12-13 on the road. Orlando Magic 22-33, 13-14 at home. And a couple very interesting thoughts. One from Dennis Garcia and one from Dan Kelly. Dennis Garcia saying it's the time to bet Nuggets futures, and I agree. And I would like to get involved today. And then our guy told us about Jokic, most valuable player, a move on that from our Dan Kelly. So a couple thoughts there. Rockstar82 says Jimmy didn't get the car get stolen in the new place. So no, not in the new place. It got stolen at the TNT market. Man, that's what happens at TNT market, man. TNT market. Car got yanked. But not here. Not in this very quiet neighborhood. No pigeons. Leo said it says Suns versus Warriors Western Conference final. That's exactly what I want everybody to think. And that's the reason why Dennis Garcia said today's the day to bet Nuggets futures, because everybody's going to be so excited about the Suns. Leo said it. What do you think the percentage is that Kevin Durant will be healthy game one of the playoffs? What would you say? Honestly, 80% chance? That's a pretty good chance. What are the chances that Kevin Durant plays every single game of a playoff run for his basketball team? I guess, again, 75, 80% chance. Right? Leo said 70% chance. Resmob says I'm on Bucks first quarter and a half. Bulls first quarter. They've been bet on spots all season. When the copy and paste that. Let's get this going here. BJ says, I think Southern Miss wins. We are breaking down that game with CMac, and I can't wait to do it. So let's get to work. First, we'll start with the line history in Magic Nuggets. Let's go over there. And then we'll go into the cash flow. And then we will discuss moves to make. I was on the Magic in that loss against the Knicks. I don't like backing a team off of a road trip or a successful road trip, and I did both. And it cost me. Magic were in control for the first half, but fell off late. Let's go over to the line history here. Orlando opening up at +6, -105. They're now +6 and -107. This did drop to 5.5 for a little bit. Totals wise, it's opened up at 231 at a pick'em. There's a 4-cent move to the over. Let's go to the cash flow here on this one. It's not up. Let me just get it back here. And I don't know why it dropped, but here we go. Here is the cash. Loading up. Here we go. The Orlando Magic can be given full line value at Sports Insights. The only other team with a sliver is the Lakers, and the tiniest sliver is the Bulls. 7,617 tickets in. 20% of the tickets and 26% of the cash is on the Orlando Magic, 20 and 26. Then 39% of tickets and 62% of the cash is on the under. 80% of the tickets and 74% cash on the Nuggets, and yet this dropped to 5.5 for a little bit. So that's interesting. Pace-wise, Denver's been playing in the fast one over the past 5. 4-1, 103.20 possessions a game. Orlando 3-2 at 100 possessions a game. The Nuggets come in from destroying the Timberwolves 146-112 at home on Tuesday night. We had Sammy Comer and a bunch of our cappers on the Nuggets first quarter, and then Dan Kelly gave us the Timberwolves unders, and the first half under cashed very easily. And everybody saw what the Suns did last night, and the Nuggets sitting atop the Western Conference are going to have to probably do something at the trade deadline. And we were just told that they picked up Thomas Bryant, and I like that look very much. We know that Bones Highland is on the move. He's not been playing. Dan Kelly has Orlando team total under 113. And Billy Friedrich says Joker down to minus 154 for MVP. Won't be betting at that price. You're right. Absolutely right, Billy. I like the idea, though, and we should keep an eye on it. I'm going to study it a little more here. But Embiid's not going to win it this year, unfortunately. There's a foulish hound in the house. A very, very big reason to come to San Antonio. An infusion party. Delusional eats. Can't wait for it. Andrew G says, yeah, no NBA for me pre-deadline. And Crowder to the Bucks is a good move as well. Yeah. Jamal Murray, who's been playing very well, he sat out the Tuesday win, right knee inflammation. I'm not sure if he will be ready to go. Magic coming off that 102-98 loss at home to the Knicks on Tuesday night. And Markelle Fultz is starting to play well. 17.5 points per game in February. I mean, I know we've been waiting for this, since 6 years? Banchero, Franz Wagner playing very well as well. And Dustin saying he's smashing the Bucks 60.5 first half over. No D coming in, huge game. Says Dustin H. And BJ saying Purdue finished MAC, Iowa. We will see about that here. Let me move this here because we have a lot of thoughts on that Bucks game that's coming up here shortly. Billy Frieder says Crowder only 32 years old asking for a birth certificate. Yeah, it's he's a wild one. Subhuman Gaucho says I'm with you, Andrew. But NBA hasn't been good since early February. And Troy Torrance says, how can the Lakers not be part of this convo? Jared Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley, Russell, they loaded up in all the right places. Well, we have a lot to discuss. I think we should wait for all the pieces to kind of find their spots here. Rez Mob says 6 years stop. What? It was 2017, Rez. That was when he was drafted. Number 1 overall. That's 6. That's 6, man. Leonard Porsche Jr. says Lakers futures move from plus 50 to 1 to 25 to 1 after the trade news. Suns trades, then after Suns trades, Lakers up to 65 to 1. Wow, that's wild, Leonard. I didn't realize that second half of that sentence was going to come through. So the market here is saying to me that the Magic are going to be able to stay in this basketball game. Dan Kelly on the team total under. The Nuggets are going to be moving pieces, you'd think, here at the deadline. With all that said, I'll just leave the Magic as a question mark here. And if Dan thinks that the Magic are going to be hurt, offensively not be as dynamic, and then the market is saying that the Magic should stay in this game, then you got to look at the under. But if Denver controls the pace, they're playing at 103.20 possessions a game over the last 5, which makes me a little nervous. I'm going to leave Magic question mark, and I'm going to also write that Dan Kelly is on the Magic team total under 113. I think it's 113.5. All right, let's roll on for us. That was the first game on the board. Only 4 games in an NBA today. Next up, we move on to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Phoenix Suns 30-26, 11-17 on the road at Atlanta Hawks 27-28, 13-11 at home. We're at State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. Phoenix is 4-1 over their past 5, playing at the pace at 98.60 possessions a game, while Atlanta 2-3, playing at the pace at 98.70 possessions a game. And obviously, all the talk is on KD coming to the desert. That is a huge, huge move here. Line history-wise, Atlanta opening up at -4.5. They're now at -7. Big move towards the Atlanta Hawks. Then we have 59% of the tickets, 61% of cash on the Hawks, 49% of the tickets, and 90% of the cash on the under. That under has gone, wow, there's a lot of money bet on the under for it not to move. 229.5 down to 229. Regis Austin is on the Hawks first quarter. A coin saying depth issues due to the trades for Phoenix should equal a low-scoring game. No, it should equal a low-scoring game. Dan Kelly, when you say this game reminds me of Minnesota-Utah last night, you're talking about the Denver-Orlando game? I believe. Could you clear that up? I would love to know if that's the situation here. Tell me you didn't just say that's on 8 and over points and points rebounds. And for good reason. I mean, he's playing. He's hit 27 of his last 32 field goals. He's playing. DeAndre Ayton playing at a very. Oh no, Phoenix Atlanta. Okay, Phoenix Atlanta. Okay. So Ayton followed up that 31-16 game against the Pistons on Saturday with 35-16 against Brooklyn on Tuesday. Suns are playing strong basketball. Now they know that they're getting Kevin Durant. They also know that the Hawks beat them 132-100. If the whole discussion wasn't all revolved around KD coming to town, maybe the Suns would remember that. The deal is they probably don't. Dan Kelly says Minnesota without key players and everyone stepped up. That's my first thought in this situation is wait for the Hawks to keep taking money, and then take a Suns team total over. That's probably my plan. Tell me you didn't just say that. It's thinking the same thing. He says, I'm waiting as long as I can and taking the Suns. Hawks cannot be trusted laying points against anyone. Feel this Durant trade energizes the Suns. Gregory Phillip also looking at the Ayton spot. And Coin says no Booker tonight too, I believe. I did not have that in my cap that Booker wasn't going to be out there either. Is that... let's just see if we can get that most recent information here. You're right, out with the groin injury. So Booker out. Why didn't I have that already set up? So Booker out. And I agree. I say we let this line go. Brad Hassan saying live bet spot. And Gregory Phillips saying Ayton, a free money Ayton spot. I think we wait. There's my guy MDR24. I agree with Dan Kelly. We just see this so often when an undermanned team steps up. So then you got to ask yourself, who is that's going to step up? And let's just go over this starting 5 tonight with Booker out. Here we go. We have... I'm very close. So Paul, Damian Lee, Torrey Craig, Dario Saric, and DeAndre Ayton. And this is against a Atlanta team that's playing at the pace of 98.70 possessions a game. There's Nasty Nate in the house. Dan Kelly saying, yeah, Brian to the Nuggets. I love that look with Brian to the Nuggets. Sammy Coleman looking at Suns money line. I wanted to be involved in the Suns team total over, but I'm going to wait. I want them to become as big a dog as possible. And in saying all of that, I would be interested in the Suns' first quarter once that is set. So those are going to be my 2 spots that I plan to attack, and I'm going to be patient here. And JP said we saw that Damian Lee can step up, no Booker, no problem. And Coin looking at Saric props as well. This is a spot that we just see it happen too often, and I would like to make money off of it. All right, let's move on to the next spot on the board, which is Bulls Nets, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Chicago Bulls 26-28, 10-17 on the road at the Brooklyn Nets, 32-22, 16-10 at home at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. And Leo said this is a weird parity spot. I'll be laying it with Atlanta before the tip. I wouldn't wait, Leo. I wouldn't wait. I just think that the market's going to keep moving in that direction. So I don't know if waiting would be the wisest move, but we'll see. Razor says Matisse Thybulle to be traded to the Blazers. That's an interesting look. Dan Kelly is a small parlay with Nets money line and the over here. Let's discuss this situation. God, I want to know who picks up OG Anunoby and what the Raps get for him. Bulls, Nets. Chicago 3-2 over the past 5, playing at a pace of 101.00 possessions a game. I don't think there's any reason to really discuss Brooklyn's pace. That we're going to see a completely different lineup here this evening. Ben Simmons, Dinwiddie, Joe Harris, Royce O'Neal, and Nick Claxton. DeRozan dealing with the hip injury for the Bulls. I think that the Nets are an interesting look here. Let's take a look at the line history for this one and the cash flow. Line history wise, we have the Bulls opening up plus 1.5. Now they're plus 1. So this isn't fooling anybody. This total opening up at 231.5 has dropped to 228 and is heavily juiced to the under. Mike M says Bulls have won 4 of 5 versus the Nets as a dog. Sammy Comer looking at Cam Johnson points over. 8,432 that's the wrong one. 9,273 tickets in. 74% of the tickets and 70% of cash on the Bulls. Markets moving to them. How slightly is it? Very slightly. Plus 107 to plus 106. Oh, Sammy, I do not want to see OG in Memphis. You're right. So Razor, I know what Razor's thinking here as we get to roll with him for so long. Razor saying Nets are straight. Everyone, there's absolutely no way they can win this game. Public hammering the Bulls. Line barely moving. It's a trap. I find now 58% of the tickets and 97% of cash is on the under. So we'll talk about the trade here, or both trades. Why not here? So first off, KD, TJ Warren to Phoenix for Cameron Johnson, Mikal Bridges, Jake Crowder. We know that Jake Crowder's just been moved to the Bucks. 4 first-round picks and a 2028 pick swap. So I think it's fair to assume that Mikal Bridges and Cameron Johnson, with their youth, are going to be a part of Brooklyn, a big part of Brooklyn's future. And I mean, I don't know exactly what Cam Thomas is. I think we all are interested. I mean, we know he's not what he's shown over the last few games. But you have Bridges, Finney-Smith, Johnson. You have Royce O'Neal, Ben Simmons, Yuta Watanabe. Yuta Watanabe's been pretty good this year. And Sky Dragon says, Nets every game, Jimmy. Eventually you'll listen. I agree with the idea that the Nets are the spot here. Let's also discuss the Kyrie Irving trade. Kyrie Irving and Markieff Morris for Finney-Smith, Dinwiddie, and draft picks. The Nets come in off their second straight loss, 116-112 at home to the Suns, but it was a very comfortable cover. And, you know, I'm looking forward to see Dinwiddie back here in Brooklyn. Played 275 games with Brooklyn. Or 274. This will be his 275th. He averaged 14.3 with the Nets overall, 16.8 in 2018-19, and then 20.6 that year that Durant was traded but out with that Achilles. At that point, we weren't entirely sure what the ceiling was for Dinwiddie until he tore his ACL, and then he was passed around. Bulls had their 3-game winning streak snapped in 104-89 loss in Memphis on Tuesday. They did not look good. DeRozan set out with the sore right hip. I'm not sure if we expect him in the lineup. Vooch led the Bulls with 28. He's playing very well. Levine, 24. Chicago committed 20 turnovers. They played sloppy, ugly basketball. They are 10-7 over their past 17. The Kyrie Irving under assist prop I was watching for you, Mike. I thought it was a beautiful bet. Billy Frieder says DeRozan has his mother's hips. And Andrew G. God, Crooklyn. God, it's one of my favorite songs of all time. Shows my age. Andrew G says, I don't recognize this team. It's hideous. I don't know if it's going to be hideous. Troy Torrance says there's nothing wrong with DeRozan. They're looking for a trade. Coin saying, can Thomas pull a Jeremy Lin for him if he was torching the league out of nowhere? And Billy says, let's take the over. Well, I'm certainly very interested in the Nets, and I guess I'm interested in the over as well. I mean, I guess we're saying that this is just the over is an overreaction, and we'll have to see how far it drops. And then I like the Nets to come out fired up here. So, and Yo-Yo Mendes says that he was ruled out right after Tuesday night's game. I'm with you guys, nervously, but I'm with you guys. All right, let's move into our final game before we have an 11-game card with our Connor Mac picks. Let's get to work here. Final game on the card, 10 p.m. Eastern. Milwaukee Bucks, 37-17. Okay, I don't have the oh, there we go. There we go. 37-17, 14-12 on the road at the LA Lakers. 25-30, 13-13 at home. Sky Dragon says, my prediction is no one gives the Raptors 3 first-rounders. No OG stays in Toronto. I think we got to move OG, but 3 first-rounders, come on. I mean, Masai can't actually think he's going to get 3 first-rounders for OG. Can he? I mean, that's just... So I agree with your prediction, but I really hope he gets moved, DG. He does not want to be here. All right. Dustin H says, where were you the game after LeBron broke the all-time scoring record? Said nobody ever. Said this is a huge letdown spot for the Lakers. Situational, hammering the Bucks all kind of ways. Hammering Giannis over 34.5. Says new king going to show everyone who's the next. Look, they need to move a bunch of guys, DG. I want Van Fleet out. You want me? Give me the list of all the guys I want out. I mean, don't get it twisted. Ryan Mueller says Levine to the Raptors. I do not want Levine. And Mike M says, prop of the night, Anthony Davis under 3.5 assists at plus 120. Troy Torrance says, this is the only game I want. Lakers plus the points. Hasn't moved yet. Well, let's talk about the line history here and then move on to college basketball. Here we go. Lakers open up at plus 5.5. They're now plus 8. This total opened up at 237.5. Now 238.5. And cash-wise, God, it's loading up here. I don't know why it stops loading. And we have a look. Sammy Comer's also on the Bucks first quarter minus 1.5. Got that at minus 114. He was saying move on it immediately. Harry Pappas says Milwaukee. Harry Pappas liking Milwaukee as well. But how do you bet them? You got 76% of the tickets, 85% of the cash. The lines moved to 8. You have 41% of the tickets, 83% of the cash on the over. We've seen a half-point move. Milwaukee playing at a very fast pace, 105.50 possessions game over the past 5. Lakers been playing at a fast pace too, 2 and 3, 103.35 possessions. If we all saw what happened to LeBron after the ceremony, and he said it was a foot injury, but I guess at that age you just can't really slow down. He slowed down for a bit and then he couldn't play. Bucks coming off their 8th straight win, 127-108 at Portland on Monday. Giannis 24 points in 23 minutes. You have Antetokounmpo, Middleton, and Drew Holiday back together. Bobby Portis out with a right knee strain, but now we're seeing what they can do. Giannis averaging 32.2 points per game. Lakers coming off their 2nd straight loss, 133-130. And it was all about the record being broken. I feel like I'm a little late to the party here with Milwaukee. Not saying that the party isn't available. First quarter is now minus 2.5. I kind of like that. I imagine that LeBron's still going to be announced out. I like the Bucks first quarter. And I will have interest in the Bucks first quarter team total over. But I don't know how much more I want to mess with this game. Mike M says Lakers in a 7-0 against the spread spot. Bucks in a separate 0-7 against the spread spot. Dan Kelly says, I often see Giannis playing in blowouts, stuffing his stat line. And Wine Time saying this line would not be minus 8 if LeBron was going to play. I think that's it. Tell me you didn't just say that, got the Bucks minus 5. So it seems like a terrible spot for the Lakers. Also, Giannis over points. He murders Lakers historically. And Troy saying if LeBron is in, he'll be on the Lakers. Lee Davis leaning Lakers. Harold Williams says Bucks smash. I don't want, and Terrell Riley looking at Giannis rebounds over. I do not want the Bucks full game, but I would have interest on them early. First quarter and the first quarter team total over. I have interest in that. All right. I think it's time to move into college basketball. Let's review the plan. I bet nothing before the show started. The only bets I put in were in NHL. Rez Mobs on Bucks first quarter and a half. Bulls first quarter. Dan Kelly gave us Orlando team total under 113. And I do have some interest in the Magic, but I guess if I think the market's sort of telling us the Magic's going to stay in this game, and Dan Kelly liking the Magic team total under, it means that the under should be available here. So I'm going to look at those two spots. I want the Suns team total over and the Suns first quarter. And maybe more than the first quarter. Maybe I definitely want the Suns team total over. I'm going to have to figure out exactly. I'm not making 3 bets on this game, so it's going to be 2 full. Nets and the over. I like those 2 spots. I think Nets are going to be flying up and down the court. And Bucks first quarter team total over. I'm going to study a little bit more. Troy Torrance says only action so far today, UAB plus 2.5. Let's move in to college basketball right now. And it's been a pretty ugly week and a half for me. The capping, though, I think has been on point. And at least it was yesterday. Syracuse minus 3.5. We talked it out beautifully. I could have also added Florida State team total under, but they were offering at that ridiculous juice yesterday. Missouri State minus 1.5. I love that bet. Georgia Tech money line. I mean, I'm sitting there so strong, and then I gave it back. Creighton Seton Hall under 133.5. Iowa State West Virginia under 134.5. Oklahoma Baylor first half under 66. Atrocious. And then to make matters worse, about 2 hours before tip-off, I added Wisconsin Penn State under 126.5. So I have a losing day when I thought that the capping was on point. Troy Torrance says, how often do you live bet? So many good spots yesterday. Troy, I only focus my live betting when we're all doing it together. 90% of it. 10% I add on my own, but generally on the games that are 10 p.m. to late because I sit and watch them while I'm preparing. It's a pretty difficult situation I'm in just time management wise because I'm a dad between at least 5 and 8. And then I'm a dad between 6:30 and 8 in the morning. And that gets in, like, I can't have a lot. I need to watch a game I'm live betting, and I got to help get the kids down to 8 p.m. Eastern. And I know where I've been succeeding, and it's the live betting that we do together. So it's tricky. Robert Franklin, no, KD's not playing. He won't be playing for a while. Troy Torrance says your live betting is ridiculous. I did have a stretch there, Troy, about 6 or 7 weeks ago, about a 3-week stretch where it was not good. I got very hot and it was great, but we're back hot again, and it's us working together with sole focus on one game. I don't think I can lose. I can lose a bet in the game, but my ROI when we're all together is just I don't think it can lose. Razor says can't wait till these damn kids can put themselves to sleep. Yeah, I heard that, man. I hear that, man. All right. Billy Friedrich says my life is barren as far as children go. Look, you got sports to focus on, man. Sports are your babies. All right, let's get into college basketball, and let's get to work, and let's get this cash. Our man CMac going to be joining us here shortly. And we're going to start with the game that pops off in an hour and 10 minutes. 2 p.m. Eastern. We have NEC action at 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. We're going to cap both of those games. So just to give you guys a heads up for your own notes, we're going to do Wagner, St. Francis of Brooklyn, Sacred Heart, St. Francis, Pennsylvania. Then we have Iowa, Purdue, Rice, Florida Atlantic, Gardner Webb, Radford. I really wanted to talk about that game because they're both playing so well in the Big South. UAB, North Texas, Louisiana, Southern Miss. And there he is joining the show. Miggity Mac Daddy, who's got a very, very busy day today. CMac, my man, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing? I'm pumped. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm pumped too. I love these Thursdays we have together, and I want to make money off of this card. I'm just going over the schedule for everybody watching. So we have Louisiana, Southern Miss, and then we head south for the last 4 games. West for the last 4 games. UCLA, Oregon State, San Francisco, Gonzaga, St. Mary's, Loyola, and then we close up shop with an 11 p.m. banger, USC, Oregon. So let's get to work here, CMac, my man. This game pops off in an hour and 9 minutes. Wagner Seahawks 12-9, 5-5 in the NEC. At St. Francis, Brooklyn Terriers 12-12, 5-6 in the NEC. Head to Brooklyn for this one. Move over to the line history here to start us off. And I almost bet this game, but I was like, you know what? Let's just wait. Wait till we have everybody working together.
What were you going to bet?
I want to bet. Now, I have not looked at the cash or anything, but I want St. Francis coming in after their 4th straight loss, coming home at a 2 p.m. quiet game.
Okay, go through. That's where I'd look as well.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at St. Francis. I want St. Francis after having their 3-game winning streak snapped. Excuse me.
Okay.
They lose at home to Stony Brook, and now they have a 2 p.m. game at home. I think it's much harder for the road team to play a 2 p.m. game. Also, and we'll get into this, Wagner's coming off a big win. Shout out to Lucas Ryan, member for his second month.
Yeah.
But let's get into the line history here. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong fucking St. Francis when I said the 4-game losing streak. Let's get
You were
in here.
on you were on PA, not Brooklyn.
Oh shit, that's why I screwed it up. That's why. There we go.
There we go. Come on now.
I'm
Let's
producing
go.
it solo, so it's a little more.
Oh, and Jose?
No, Jose busy today with a very important meeting here for us at pub, so he's busy. Okay, let's get to work here. St. Francis of Brooklyn opening up as 2.5-point dogs. There's been no movement at Pinnacle. Let's go over to Bet Online. There has been no movement at Bet Online. Totals wise, it's opened up at 125 and it's dropped low. We got down to 121.5. It's now sitting at 122. Let's go over to the cash flow for this one. We have, this has been up now, and I expect we'll have a lot of tickets in. Yes, 3,159 tickets in. 57% of the tickets and 60% of the cash is on Wagner. And then 29% of the tickets, 70% of cash is on the over. Now, I tried to do this, and it was a mistake. I tried to do this with the Penn State-Wisconsin game. All the money was coming in on the over, and the total kept dropping. And I was like, why are they offering the over up as such a gift? And it cost me $150 to find out.
It didn't drop, though, that game. Really?
Well, I
saw a few 127s. It just wasn't, it didn't drop to me. I didn't see 125s.
Oh, they were
talking about. But I saw 126.5s and even 127s. It kind of just stuck there. I saw all day long.
Listen to this. The reason why I moved on it is because it went down to 123.5 at Pinnacle.
Oh wow! Holy shit! I didn't see that. Right, it must have been right before.
Then it came back up. No, it went down to 123.5, and then it came back up to 125. But when it went down to 123.5, I'm like, oh come on! They're just begging for more money on the over, and then I fell for the stupid trap.
Well, I thought real quick. I bet you they play that game 10 games. The 8 of them are going to go under. They just shot the ball well. I mean, they consistently, Wisconsin hasn't got over 65, let alone 70, in a long time. So, I mean, it was falling. We'll get to that in a few teams. There's one on a late Pacific that drives me nuts. We were on a week or two ago.
Well, I'm looking forward to break it down. North Ender, this one is in Brooklyn. This one's at the Pope Physical Education Center. Okay, so Wagner snapped their 2-game losing streak with a very impressive 83-79 win at Fairleigh Dickinson on Saturday's 4-point dogs. They shot 56.6% from the field and 50% from three. I just simply believe there's no way that they do that again. And this doesn't always work when I say it, but I just simply think there's no way they do that again here at a 2:00 start. You know how many people are coming to these St. Francis of Brooklyn games, CMac? About 150.
10. Yeah, I'm going low. Yeah,
they had 147 people.
120 people. Yeah. And I think that's stretching it. I think they're lying a little there.
they might.
I mean, I'm serious. I think it's more like 100, but we'll give them the 147, 150. But we'll give it
St. Francis of Brooklyn had their 3-game winning streak snapped in a 65-59 loss at home to Stony Brook. I like that. I like that they just took the L after their 3-game winning streak. I like that Wagner looked so good against Fairleigh Dickinson. So I think this is all move on St. Francis of Brooklyn, but I want to hear your breakdown before I move on it. Lee Davis said Wagner 0-10 to the under as a favorite, but I think that move has happened here, and I'm not. But I take it away, CMac. Wagner, St. Francis of Brooklyn.
Yeah, this isn't the same Wagner team that's been pretty good here the last few years in this conference, and they started out really, really bad. I thought they played a bit better of late. You mentioned it. I think some people think this is a revenge little bit spot from they just lost to Brooklyn. What was that, 65-56 in that matchup? I'm not going to mess with the total. To me, this is an under. Both these teams, we run through all this stuff, are horrible here. 333, 331 for Wagner. They both average 64 a game. They both shoot it pretty bad. These teams mirror each other in a lot of ways. Wagner's defense maybe a little bit better here. You just have to lay the points on the road. It's a little bit of revenge, but do you want to take a team on the road to win by 3 here. I don't. If I were to look, I was going to look at St. Francis, but I don't love it. Getting a couple points here at home because it's tough. They just upset them. Another thing, too, Wagner coming out slow. They had to come back against Fairleigh Dickinson. They were down that last game pretty heavily and had a huge second half. The Dog, 7-0. 7-0 the last 7 in this one. I glanced at that. But the road team, I believe, is 7-0, has won. Let me double check that. So conflicting in this game a little bit. And everything tends the under. All the everything you look at are crazy, under. We're just dealing with a 121 total. I mean, that's where I'd be. If I had a free bet, I'd still take the under in this game. And St. Francis from the side. Road team 6-1 last 7 ATS.
Do we agree? Do we think that in a neutral court in a 7 p.m. game, Wagner's a better basketball team? It's rest
a little
rest.
Maybe.
So then here, if I have
still not crazy though. Yeah, but not wild. I don't think Wagner's like really better. I mean, look at these two teams. The record and every stat is similar with these teams through and through. I mean, technically they have a little bit better record, but and they're worse against the number. Brooklyn's got a better ATS number than Wagner does. I know they started out really bad, but I get what you're saying. Maybe a late game, but just early. I didn't take it last week, Jimmy. It was St. Francis. They pulled through. It was kind of a nail-biting, ugly game. What is it, 62-60, whoever they beat last week? We would have won if we played it, stayed off. So, I don't know.
Well, I'm going to move on it. And I think that if I'm saying that my biggest edge here is the 2 p.m. start, my biggest edge is St. Francis coming off a loss. I know they were dogs to Stony Brook. And my next biggest edge is I do not expect Wagner to shoot as spectacularly as they did. You talked about them getting stronger as the game moved on. Billy Friedrich saying possible Rebenga, maybe so. But I'm going to be on St. Francis of Brooklyn first half. First half. That's going to be my look, and I'm going to bet it. And that game pops off in an hour and 1 minute. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. Sacred Heart, St. Francis, Pennsylvania. Sacred Heart Pioneers, 13-3, 6-5 in the conference. Troy, I don't believe in any of that stuff, so love that you're rolling with me. St. Francis, Pennsylvania, Red Flash, 8-15, 5-5 in the NEC. We're in Loretto, Pennsylvania. Sweet Loretto, Pennsylvania for this one. Let's move on to the line history here. We have St. Francis opening up at -2. They're now +1. A 3-point swing from dog to favorite, and that's at Pinnacle. So that money line's gone from -113 to -102. But at 9:30 a.m., they were at -119. So there's been a 17-cent move towards the Sacred Heart in the last 2.5 hours. Go over to Bet Online. They're saying that Bet Online doesn't have this available right now. Wild. Wow. Let's go to Bet365. Bet365 has moved 20 cents towards Sacred Heart since 4:22 in the morning. So let's go over to Pinnacle, go over to their total. Opened up at 150. It's now at 149, a 1-point drop. Jarek White looking at Sacred Heart, money line. There's my guy, Fat Wally, in the house. Sacred Heart comes in off its second straight win, 78-65 at home for Central Connecticut on Saturday as 3.5-point favorites. And St. Francis of Pennsylvania coming off their fourth straight loss, 70-66 at Merrimack Saturday as 4.5-point dogs. This is a pretty big swing over to Sacred Heart. Take it away for us here, CMac NEC action.
Yeah, Sacred Heart been last year I used this team a lot. I thought they were a little bit better scoring team last year than they are this year. Let's touch on the total though real quick. I think it's sharp. This is too high for me here a little bit. I'd like to lean the under. Both these teams are over teams. St. Francis PA is, and Sacred Heart always kind of has been, but I think that this is a little bit too high, up in the high 140s, almost 150. I do agree. I think Sacred Heart is the side here. I look at them. St. Francis PA at home has lost 4 straight. Now, those games were on the road. They're back at home here. So could they play a little bit better? Maybe. I just don't like how they've been playing lately. The bottom line is, though, I don't trust Sacred Heart. really in this basketball game, even at a pick and Jimmy. I don't really want them. I think they have the better scores at times in this game. I'm just going to be off in the end. Both these teams' defenses are horrible as well. They both don't shoot the free throws well. Sacred Heart's 67%. I know that's just shouldn't pick them. They got to win. But yeah, I want nothing to do with this game.
They have
1,910
tickets in here, and they've given St. Francis, Pennsylvania, half line value, so a lot of line value. By the way, Billy Friedrich says, speaking of Merrimack, I'll be fading them. Merrimack has almost the most line value on the entire card, but 50% of the tickets are on Merrimack and just 10% of the cash. You'll do with that what you will. We're not breaking that game down. But this one's wild because St. Francis, Pennsylvania has 85% of the tickets and 83% of the cash. And then on the total, there's 71% of tickets on the under and just 22% of cash. So big bets have come in on the over. Mike M says Sacred Heart 0-9 last night at St. Francis, Pennsylvania.
I think you got to be careful with those numbers, Jimmy, a little bit. Just because these games are so small, yeah. These type of school, it's just it's not like a big game,
No, I feel
we'll
you.
Talk. That's all.
No.
When we talk the money with it.
No, I feel you. I feel you. The 2 p.m. game is a little better just because there's so many tickets on an NEC game where you don't usually see that type of thing just because it's the lone 2 p.m. game. I'm not moving on this here. This is a little conflicting.
Shout out to anybody that is.
Yeah.
Real quick. I mean, I don't want money. I mean, hey, it's just, yeah.
Isaiah Scurry says, y'all like Wagner, St. Francis. I decided to move on St. Francis first half. St. Francis first half. All right, we've talked NEC. Now let's talk about the big boys. Number 1 ranked Purdue Boilermakers, 11-1 at home, 22-2 on the year at Mackey Arena in West Lafayette, Indiana. Facing the Iowa Hawkeyes, who are 15-8, just 2-4 on the road. Iowa comes in off its third straight win, 81-79 at home over Illinois. Saturday is 3-point favorites. Let's take a look at the line history for this one. This one, we're back at 7 p.m. action here. We have the number 1 ranked Boilermakers coming off that loss to Indiana, opening up at -7, now at -8 at Pinnacle. Over at BetOnline, they opened up at -6.5, and they're now at -8. Totals-wise, it's opened up at 150.5, and it's now at 149. Cash-wise for this one, we have line value on Purdue, 8,126 tickets in, 75% of the tickets, 70% of cash on Purdue. Then 87% of the tickets and 95% of cash on the over, and it's dropped a half point or a point and a half. Strange. Purdue comes in off having their 9-game winning streak snapped in that 79-74 loss at Indiana. Saturday is a pick 'em. I guess now thinking about this and sitting with this, I guess I prefer Purdue first half, but I would like to hear your thoughts here, CMac. Iowa Hawkeyes, Purdue Boilermakers.
Yeah, I like Purdue here. I think this is a bounce back. I thought of that too. Do I just go first half? But I think if I go that way, I'd maybe split it. But I think Purdue covers the number here. I took this last night at 7.5. I bet this game. I mean, whatever you give me the best, I'm going to lay it here with them. I was all over Indiana. I think all of us were. I mean, Razor was, I know, and all of us, Show, Cab, Babano, we all liked Indiana. They got it done on Saturday. I think it's a huge bounce back. It's starting to stretch it a little bit. It seems like Purdue, though, against Iowa, especially takes care of business. A lot of these wins the last couple of years by just about 10 points. So that scares me a tad bit. I think they shoot it a lot better here back at home. I was feeling good. A lot of home games their last few games, though. Now they hit the road. This is where I love to fade them. As soon as they go on the road, the defense just collapses. They're going to get pounded on the boards, and they better chuck up shots, and that's the only way they'll be in this game is looking threes, and getting to the rim, getting fouled maybe, get Edey out of the game. But I love the rebounding. Obviously, we know Purdue, top in the country rebounding team, and at home back here. I just think it's a Purdue spot. I got to roll with them.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, the concern, if you were to take him first half, is Edey gets 2 quick fouls and is pulled. I mean, is there any other concern?
Maybe, yeah. And it's a little bit when I start doing first half. This isn't too bad. What is it? 4.5? Jimmy? First
Yeah,
half?
I'm gonna pull it up right now. Let me grab it for you. The first half right now is 4.5. Some books have it juiced. Pinnacle has it juiced to -117. Bovada -105. The rest are all at -110.
I don't mind it when I start to go. I see Cab. I don't think he does it a ton. He does his first halves, but he keeps them for the most part under 5 points, and I would too. Just because, like, if you're up 7, the late 3, anything. Because once you start stretching it out more than just a basket or 2, more than that, it could be tough. But that's where I'm looking. It's Purdue or nothing. I think they'll be back ready to roll here at home against a team I want to fade on the road that's been playing well, especially lately at home in Iowa. So I like it either way. I like first half as well. I'm just gonna go for it.
Maybe it turns into a double up spot here, which I've been trying so hard not to do. Trying so hard just to keep everything clean and simple and not put too much pressure on one game for my bankroll. Purdue first half for me, and maybe it is just a double up spot. CMac got Purdue last night at 7.5. Unfortunately, here, you know how we work. We give what lines are available at the time. -8 at -108. But that is the big one. All right. Some people don't like the way we handle things. Brendan not liking the smaller school games, but that 2 p.m. game and the 5 p.m. game are opportunities, to make your day at work easier and have some action going on. That's why we cap them. But there's also spots on today's board that I wanted to talk about because I'm going to want to bet on their tournaments. And we got Conference USA, we got Big South. So we're going to move over to Conference USA, 7 p.m. Eastern, a battle of the Owls. Rice Owls 15-8, 6-6 in conference. At Florida Atlantic Owls 22-2, 12-1 in conference. We're in Boca Raton for this one. Take a look at the line history. Rice has surprised a lot of us with being much better than expected this year. FAU opening though at -13.5. No movement at Pinnacle, none. Let's see what BetOnline did. BetOnline opened this up at -14, but that's where they are. They're at 14. So this total opened up at 150.5 and is now at 149. Ryan Mueller has FAU -14. Billy Friedrich says FAU minus all the points. Reginald has a question about the total in that Purdue-Iowa game. And I'll ask CMac about it. And CMac can open with it. And that total, by the way, all the money's coming on the over in the Iowa-Purdue game. 87% of tickets, 95% of cash. So CMac can touch on that total. I'm staying off of it. But let's talk about this one here. Rice, Florida Atlantic. Let me get the Rice. Find this here. And we have it where? God, all these games. I cannot find Rice. There we go. 2,624 tickets in. 58% of the tickets and 98% of the cash is on Rice. That's a wild. Then 89% of the tickets, 97% cash on the over. Rice comes in off its third straight loss, 74-64 at home versus North Texas is 5-point dogs. On the road, they're 5-4 this year. They've been pretty good basketball team. FAU bounced back from its 86-77 loss at UAB. I know a ton of you guys were on UAB in that spot. By winning at Charlotte 67-52 on Saturdays, 5.5-point favorites. They shot 55.3% from the field. They shot 45% from three, and they haven't lost all year at FAU Arena in Boca Raton, 13-0. Take it away for us here at CMac. Rice Owls, Florida Atlantic Owls.
Let's touch on a Purdue total. I'm not going to mess with it. Iowa can give up a ton, and maybe like at 85, I still would lean under. Because I think if you think Purdue comes, that Iowa's just a team that gets in the mid-60s, and that's kind of what they've done when they've gone to Purdue here the last few years. It's just they struggle to score. So at 149, I'd lean under. I think Purdue's defense is what's going to kind of win it for them, even though Iowa's doesn't have a good defense and Purdue probably gets 80. I'd still lean under. All right,
I like it.
Let's get to this one. I wanted to touch on that.
Yeah, thank you.
This is a game that's the over. I like here with Rice. The problem is Rice has played better on the road. We touch on the total, but they could struggle at times to score. And FAU's been really, really good. I mean, this is a team that could score in the mid-60s. And, of course, early on, especially in January, a lot of their games were in the 80s for Rice. But they've struggled to score lately, and losers of 3 straight. That's why we see this big move. FAU back here at home. Obviously they had the loss to UAB last week. They got it done. Bounced right back, beat Charlotte by 15. This one's tough. It's just too many points now. I think FAU wins this game. I haven't seen enough lately of Rice. And I probably would have been on them if this was a couple weeks ago. But right now, I don't know if I can take them because when I was going through this last night, they're just not playing good basketball. But this seems to me a little bit, FAU can get this done. They play just middle basketball and could still cover. They covered so many games there early on. Whatever it was, they were like 14-1, and they'd be like 9-point favorite. They win by 10 or 11, and there was a ton of games like that. So they could kind of walk through this one and still cover. That's the problem. So in the end, I got to be off.
I have some interest in thinking that FAU may look past Rice.
Exactly. As I was thinking. I mean, yeah.
They just shot 45% from 3 and 55.3% from the field in a bounce back spot at Charlotte. Stomped on Charlotte. They were only 5.5-point favorites. They beat Charlotte by 15. Now they come home against this minnow. And I have interest in Rice first half +8.
Like it?
Yeah, I do. I do. I have interest in Rice first half +8. I want to see how much action I'm going to have here, and then I will decide if that will make the cut. But I'm certainly interested in it. Brad Hassan also on the Rice Owls here. Let's head over to the Big South. One of the things that I want to touch on these conferences is at least try to get to them once a day, just so we can be ready for the conference tournaments when there's going to be more excitement around, and we're going to want to hammer them. And one team from the Big South is going to be in the dance. And is it going to be the Radford Highlanders? Let's break it down. Gardner-Webb running Bulldogs, 13-11, 8-4 in conference at the Radford Highlanders, 16-9, 10-2 in conference. We're at Donald Ed Dedman Center in Radford, Virginia. Take a look at the line history here for this spot. And I know this should be easy to find. Here we go. We have Gardner-Webb opening up at Pinnacle at +3.5. That's exactly where they stand right now. Over at Bet Online, opened up at 3. That's exactly where they stand right now. We did see it go to 2. We saw it go to 4, but it's sitting exactly where it opened. Totals-wise, it's opened up at 125. It's exactly where it is. This is going to be a highly contentious basketball game. They know that they're going to have to run through each other to get to the dance. Gardner comes in off its 5th straight win, 56-48 at Presbyterian Saturdays, 11.5-point favorites. I think that they were thinking about what was going to happen, on Thursday when they head to Radford. Let's take a look at the line history here, the cash flow here for this one. And we have 1,120 tickets and not a lot of action. 53% of the tickets, 67% of the cash on Gardner-Webb, and no information on the total. So Gardner-Webb lost at home to Radford 63-59 on Saturday, January 7th. Now they face each other again. Radford comes in off its 9th straight win, 69-66 at home over Winthrop as 6.5-point favorites. I don't know enough about these teams really to give thoughtful analysis, and that's why we have experts come on the show. So Gardner-Webb running Bulldogs, Radford Highlanders, CMac. Take it away, Big South action.
Oh, these are some of my teams that I like. Some of my favorite teams, as always, and to bet on. Gardner-Webb and Radford this year, which I thought was going to be better. They've been a lot better this year, and I've rode them a ton throughout the year. They got some guards that can play. Smith's really good, and they keep winning. They're very good against the number. I forget what they are here. They're 14-8 against the number. You talked about it. I want to go back to it. Let's get on the total real quick. I was on this under that first game. I think it was 127.5. That was about a month ago, 63-59. I know Gardner-Webb's last game, 56-48. They beat Presbyterian. They got to win like that. They just cannot get up and down. So even with this number here, I'm looking at the under. and to the dog. The dog's been very good in this series. Rad as a favorite lately has been better, and cover. Usually they haven't been a favorite because as soon as with plus money, they've covered a ton, and that's where I've been on them. Now laying a few points here at home, I don't want to do it, even though I think they're the better team. I lean Gardner-Webb with the points. Dog's been good in this series too, and the road team as well. But I'm looking at the under in this game.
I could easily be talked into the under. I also had some interest in Gardner-Webb first half.
Okay. Yeah.
I just losing to Radford. Radford's won 9 straight. Radford is the class of the conference at this point, and is Gardner-Webb going to give every single ounce of effort in the first half? Shout out to Parl Angel getting in some squares, Super Bowl squares, $25 Super Bowl squares. We will be doing it on Super Sunday. CMac going to be joining us for part of our big Super Bowl live stream as well, which thank you for, CMac. But I'm interested in Gardner-Webb first half, but I guess the under is more appealing to me now. I can understand how people would see that number 125 and want nothing to do with it. I'm interested. Very, very interested. Anything you want to make official here? Or are you going to stay off this one?
Yeah, I'll get back to you. I think I'm going to be on the under here in this game.
I like it. And another thing for you guys watching is that CMac has his big show at 5 p.m. And what he's been doing is tweeting out his action after that show, and I mean retweeting it. So this is how it works. Everybody has a process, and sitting with these games and then getting to cap them again. It worked really well for me when I was in Costa Rica, having 2 shows a day with Pete. Let's move on here. Next up for us, UAB Blazers, 17-7, 2-4 on the road at the North Texas Mean Green. 19-5 right now, 8-2 at the Super Pit in Denton, Texas. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Big game here. UAB North Texas. Let me get this up. Here we go. So this is UAB opening up at plus 2.5. That's exactly where they stand again right now. No changes. Let's go to Bet Online and see what they've done with it. They opened up UAB plus 2.5, and this has been a 4-cent move towards them. That's it. This total opened up at 130 and has dropped to 128. Let's see what's going on with the cash in this one. We have 2,343 tickets in. 55% of the tickets and 92% of the cash is on UAB, but the market has moved towards them. 82% of tickets and 98% of cash on the over, and the totals dropped 2 points. UAB comes in off its 4 straight victory, 76-72 at home over Florida International on Saturday. It's 15.5-point favorites. When I was studying that, I was like, oh, God. I mean, we were so focused on horses, but that would have been a slam dunk spot after, UAB beats FAU, and then they have to go to play FIU. Nobody cared about. I mean, yeah, that was one that got away. UAB, you could tell their heads weren't in it. They win by 4. They turned the ball over 22 times. I'm sure that you can expect a much sharper performance here against a great team like North Texas coming off their 4th straight win. They beat Rice 74-64 as 5-point favorites. They also beat UAB on the road 63-52 back on January 21st. So we're only talking, 3 weeks ago, they beat UAB. So sharp action on UAB, line not moving. Take it away here for us, CMac. UAB Blazers, North Texas Mean Green.
Yeah, I think UAB could get this one, but it's not moving like you mentioned here. A little bit of revenge because this North Texas team, I haven't been in the last few years. They've played a little bit to the over. I know this first game, and that's where and that's why the total's gone down. Played real slow. Well, obviously, it's going to be a pace war between North Texas, slow on a dead last in basically the categories, their tempo and pace, against a UAB team that gets up and down. And that last game, what'd you talk about? Was it 63, whatever it was, the 4-point win?
Yeah. Oh, you mean when they played each other or the last game?
Yeah,
UAB?
when they played each other. Yeah, when they played each other.
That was 63-52.
52, yeah. So stayed way under. And it's such a big game. I lean to the under. I was talking about it, though. Their overs there's still unders going on, Jay. But the last week of college basketball, the efficiency of offenses and scoring has been kind of through the roof. You know what I mean? And that'll flip. I bet you in a week from now, there'll be more unders come conference tournament. You know how it goes. I'm just meaning lately, the offenses have been very good. And North Texas, I don't think we talk about slow their pace, but I don't think their defense has been as good this year. And they've gone, to the over. These totals have been too low, and they've gotten just over the number. I still lean under in this game. I think it's too big, and I lean UAB. I don't know if I get there with UAB here on the road because I think they can beat North Texas here today. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're certainly playing their best ball right now. Obviously, we can't use that last game, but look, they go into FAU and was it FAU they went in?
86-77 last, and then they beat FIU by 4.
Yeah.
FIU covered that. I had FIU on Saturday plus 14.
That was what I was saying. What a perfect bet. What a perfect situation to have the dog there. That wasn't when they played UAB. Was that at FAU?
Yeah, that was at FAU.
Why
UAB was at
home.
No, UAB was at home.
Oh, UAB was
Sorry.
at home. Okay, thank you.
UAB was at home. Walker came back. He scored about 10. You could tell he's still not ready, but yeah, they were huge in that game.
Yeah, this is an interesting one here. You have Troy Torrance saying North Texas coming off a road win have not covered all year. He also saying Jelly Walker in the game opens up easy offense for UAB, and you got the angle trend. Home favorites with revenge on the road as dogs.
Yep.
Exactly. I think you're right. I think this is a big spot for UAB.
I think I'm going to move on them. The road team, 8-0 against the number of the last 8. Yeah, what's up?
Oh, no, I forgot. Thank you, Andrew, saying I needed to switch the I can't even find the UAB. I guess we don't. I'll just pull it off. We don't have a UAB graphic here. But thank you for that, Andrew. My bad. I think I'm going to move on UAB here. I feel like this is a good spot for them. I wish I could get a little more than 2.5. And if not getting 2.5, I kind of wish the market was moving towards them. But
that's another. I still kind of like it. The road team's been very good too between these.
I think I move on UAB here. So
I think I am as well.
Do you want to make that official right now?
No, I'll do it at the end if I do it.
Okay. So I think I move on UAB. Okay, let's keep rolling. We go from Conference USA over to the Sun Belt, Fun Belt. I can't wait to break down this game. This was another one. I was trying to pick up. We want to touch on all the different conferences as many as we can with the highlighted, exciting games, and we want to talk about teams that we are going to see fighting for their tournament championship that could get them into the dance. And here we have one right now. 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns 20-4, 10-2 in the Sun Belt. At the Southern Miss Golden Eagles, 21-4, also 10-2 in the Sun Belt. We're at Reed Green Coliseum in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Start with the line history here for this big clash at 8:30 p.m. It's going to be a fun one to watch. Southern Miss, Louisiana, Lafayette. So let's go. The Ragin' Cajuns in business here. On the road, opening up at +2.5. They're now at +3. Over to BetOnline. BetOnline has them at +1, now at +2.5. So BetOnline has moved this 1.5 in the direction of Southern Miss. Totals wise, it's opened up at 149. It's dropped to 147. Billy, I think Brendan Jones left, Billy. I think Brendan Jones left, but that made me laugh. Ragin' Cajuns, Southern Miss. Let me pull up the line history here for this one. Can I find it? God, take me a second. I'm gonna. Here we go. We have 1,783 tickets in. 23% of the tickets, 35% of the cash on Louisiana. Small sample size, but 77 and 65 on Southern Miss. Then 90% of the tickets and 88% of the cash on the under. And the market is trusting that. I'm trying to stay away from unders, but man. And Alfred about the UAB game, it says too many on UAB makes me uncomfortable like Harvard last week. Yeah, look, I get it. And we've talked quite a bit about those situations where we have everybody on one side And usually I don't get cold feet. Usually I just trust the fact that we're all seeing the same thing. But last night I did get cold feet on Utah State. And when it was 44-28 in the first half, yeah, I was like, because everybody was on Utah State, and my whole plan was to be on Utah State. So I think we need to keep talking about those situations. I got to be more. I'd love to start tracking them too when we're all on one side. But here we go. Louisiana comes in off its 10th straight win, 77-67 at home over Marshall as just 1-point favorites. They look very good, but they committed 17 turnovers, which gives fodder for staying, intense and understanding it wasn't that good of a game. You can play better. Southern Miss comes in off its 7th straight win themselves at Georgia State Saturday as 4-point favorites. Big game in the Sun Belt. Raging Cajuns, Golden Eagles. Take it away, CMac.
This is going to be, I think, a good basketball game. Two teams that just keep winning. And both 20-4, 21. And for Louisiana, this team can score it and really shoot the ball well. That's what's a little bit dangerous, I think, with them. Because on the flip side, Southern Miss, to me, has the better defense. They're at home here. And initially, that's where I'd lean, is to Southern Miss. Better defensive team. They're not better on offense. So Louisiana almost shoot 40% from three, which is solid. But Southern Miss, pretty good three defense, 31%. Both these teams can score, at will. But if you like Southern Miss, I got to think you lean to the under. The defense comes to play in a huge game at home. I'm leaning them, the -2 here, Jimmy. I just don't love it. It's a team that can shoot it in Louisiana. And both teams, like Lafayette, has played well on the road. So I don't know if going to Southern Miss will be that big a deal. But big home game here for Southern Miss. I mean, that's where I'm leaning.
I'm leaning there as well. And you also lean to the under as well?
A little bit. I think if Southern Miss plays well, the defense needs to show up. But I don't think I'm going to touch it.
This is a big game.
It is a big game.
Southern Miss goes to Louisiana on Thursday, January 5th, and gets beaten badly. They lose at Louisiana 75-61. And, Louisiana shot well. Southern Miss was okay from three, but shot 37.5% from the field. And, the Louisiana Raging Cajuns were up 37-23 at the half. So since that game, it seemed to sort of wake up the squad. Since that game, they did lose to Marshall. At Marshall.
That was a tough stretch of road games.
Yeah.
They had like 4 or 5. These teams sometimes go on these crazy road trips, 5-game ones. But yeah, they lost at Marshall by 22.
Huh. BJ, yes, I can discuss my man, of course, for you, of course. The cash on this one, there's 1,859 tickets in. 77% of the tickets are on Southern Miss and 65% of the cash. Then you have 90% of the tickets and 88% of the cash on the under. God. And Louisiana's
tough.
Gotta go over that again. I guess, okay, so maybe I should just leave this as a lean at this point. And I get it. Say what, my man?
Keep going. No, I get it. Keep rolling.
But I also think that Southern Miss has got to be ready to go right off the tip.
I agree.
It almost makes me want to just take them first half because I can really now Louisiana's shooting can heat up, but you got to think they're just going to be locked in. And
I don't mind that. That's the only thing is Lafayette scoring. And Southern Miss not the best shooting team, but maybe they're just so pumped like you're talking about and locked in. Just keep it to a first half. Just, they get out to a lead, and we know these second halves can get tight. I kind of like it. Both these teams have been so good against the number, Jimmy.
Yeah.
They've both been really good if you've been backing them.
Billy Friedrich saying Louisiana 0-3 against the spread as road dogs. DC Capper sharing his action. I'm going to copy and paste that. Thank you for doing that, DC, my guy. Sure about to make the trip down to the casino and get paid. We pop this in here. Okay, so now we go into some big games out west. Big games out west, and the first one we don't have a graphic for, so I'm just going to pull this down here. But let's roll the next game for us. 9 p.m. Eastern. Number 7th ranked UCLA Bruins, 19-4, 5-2 on the road this season. At Oregon State, 9-15, but 8-4 at Gill Coliseum in Corvallis. Take a look at the line history here. Heading over to the pack. See, we have UCLA opening up at minus 14.5. They're now minus 15.5. This total opening up at 124.5 has dropped to 122.5. Those are both at Pinnacle. Let's go over to Bet Online. Bet Online. I have 27 minutes before tip-off. I haven't bet that first half, St. Francis. I got to keep that in mind. Bet Online opened this up minus 14. Now UCLA is minus 15 and 124, and they've kept the total at 124, but it's heavily juiced to the under. Let's go over to the cash flow here for this one. 9 p.m. action for UCLA. And UCLA is being given almost half line value, 2,674 tickets, and 82% of the tickets and 94% of the cash is on UCLA. 66% of tickets, 65% of cash on the over. UCLA comes in off its second straight win, 76-52 at home over Washington State. Saturday is 12-point favorites. Oregon State comes in off its second straight loss, a tough road swing, 84-52 at Arizona. Saturday is 21-point dogs. My initial thought was Oregon State first half, but now I think I'm getting probably too cute here. I know all the big bets are coming in on UCLA, but I was really thinking that, UCLA feeling so good about themselves. They destroy Washington State at home. Now they go on the road to Corvallis, where Oregon State's been pretty good. Take it away, CMac. What do you think? UCLA, Oregon State?
They've been pretty good here, but last year UCLA beat them 94-55. I think this UCLA team's better. I want to back Oregon State. It's so ugly. I think I'm going to stay off. We were here with Utah. If this team can't shoot the ball, they're so slow with pace, at home, they're in real trouble. I think they were 0 for 9. They were down by, I don't know, what was it, 32 to 16, and the game was just over. We had them, was that 2 weeks ago?
I believe so, yeah.
+7. And they've been hit and miss at home. What team shows up here? The team, they're going to be slow. This total is really low. Oregon State unders have just been consistent for the most part for me all year long. They've been money. They dropped this real low. What are they thinking? That they're not going to get to 50? I mean, what's their even team total for Oregon State? It's just, I don't know who's going to show up. The shooting is so hit with them. They can hit threes too at times. Here, I wanted to double check this. 223, they hit 33%. If they don't fall, it really hurts. The UCLA team could just pound them inside. We know everyone on Hawkes, great guard Campbell. This team's deep. But this seems like up in there in Corvallis, this is just a walk in the park. Like, they could be caught sleeping. So I don't know what we're going to get. As much as I want this dog, I don't know who we're going to get in this basketball game with Oregon State.
God, I want to bet Oregon State first half.
I
just don't know if I have the balls to do it, but that was my plan. There was only a couple spots where I was like, look, I would like to move on it. Now all the money's coming on UCLA. Even when you bring up the score last year, it makes me even more want to bet Oregon State first half. I'm interested in Oregon State first half. Maybe this is just so stupid.
And real quick.
Yeah.
Before that bad loss, they had lost to ASU at home by 5. Arizona, they were getting blown out in the first half. They came marching back and lost by 12. That would get you a cover. I mean, that's why we were on them. Then they went to Cal and won, and they laid an egg with Utah. Then they came back that Saturday, Jimmy, at home and beat Colorado 60-52 as huge dogs, 15-point dogs or whatever they were. So I know they're just one team so talented. Is it going to be the walk in the park, or I think they hang in here and they will cover this number?
I'm very interested in them first half here. Very interested. We got 3 more games here on the docket. Next up for us is at 9 p.m. Eastern. San Francisco Dons 15-11 at number 16th ranked Gonzaga Bulldogs 19-5. Bulldogs now 10-1 at home, and not the team that we remember for the last few years. McCarthy Athletic Center in Spokane, Washington. BetOnline opened up the Dons plus 14.5 and now plus 14. From a total perspective, it opened up at 158, now down to 155.5. And when we get to the cash flow, 3,592 tickets in. They've given Gonzaga some line value, but 31% of tickets are on San Francisco and 87% of the cash. And I want San Francisco first half on the road, and I'll explain it here in a second, but 71% of the tickets, 94% of cash on the over, and that total has dropped 2.5 points, and it had dropped 4 points. So that's strange. San Francisco comes in off its second straight loss. It was bad. 84-70 at home for Santa Clara on Saturday's 2.5-point favorites. I love betting them in this spot. And I've done it against Gonzaga this year when a team has lost two in a row, and then they play the mighty Gonzaga Bulldogs and play so much better. Gonzaga had their 3-game winning streak snapped in a 78-70 overtime loss to St. Mary's. Look, St. Mary's were 3-point favorites in that game. So it's not like we're sitting here going, oh, there's an angry Gonzaga. No, I'm sure they're angry they lost, but it's not like they laid an egg. But I wish they had won. Would make the bet easier. But I like San Francisco first half here. Take it away for us, CMac. Dons, Bulldogs.
Yeah, I want San Francisco too in this one. You know what? Everything from Gonzaga, they lost to St. Mary's. You know what? In the end, I went with Santa Clara. It was not seen from Gonzaga since really at all. They jumped out to a big lead that first half by like 25 points. I think San Francisco, that doesn't happen here, but I'm a little leery of it. I'm going to go full game. But Gonzaga obviously can score. We see this team number one in all these categories. But I think this is too many. San Francisco's played them, tough as of late. And this Gonzaga, it's the defense that will keep them from covering numbers like this. And in the end, they barely just covered. They did cover that. They win by 17 or 18. So I think this is too many points for a Dons team that can score too well. Their offense is too good against a bad defense that I think they can hang here.
Do you want plus 14.5 at minus 114 or 14 at minus 105?
Shit. I don't know.
All right. CMac on San Fran. So we'll see a plus 14 or 14.5. Sammy, I was writing that to you when you said, where do you think Kane lands? I was like, oh, well, my first thought when I heard Tarasenko the Rangers, like, oh, I guess they're not getting Patrick Kane. I'd need to dive into it further, but that was my very first thought, Sam, was exactly what you're saying. Brad Hassan on San Francisco first half, too. So, CMac, 14.5 minus 114 or 14 minus 105?
I'll let you know.
Okay. Move on to the second to last game, but we stay in the WCC. Number 15th ranked St. Mary's, 21-4, 10-0 in conference. Loyola Marymount, 16-9, 6-5 in conference. St. Mary's ranked higher than Gonzaga. We're in Los Angeles, California for this one. Take a look at the line history here. We have St. Mary's opening up at Pinnacle at -8. They're now -7.5. Over at BetOnline, they opened up -6.5. They're now -7.5, but they've come down from -8.5. Total wise, opened up 131, now 127.5. Go over to the cash flow for this one. And we have 3,694 tickets in. They've given Loyola Marymount a little, like some line value, maybe 10%. 72% of tickets, 99% of cash on Loyola. 85% of tickets on the over. Now, this feels like the Utah State spot for me because St. Mary's coming off their 12th straight win, 78-70 at home in overtime over Gonzaga, 3-point favorites. Loyola coming off their second straight loss, 87-79 at San Diego is 3-point favorites. Loyola obviously thinking about this basketball game. St. Mary's coming off a huge win. It makes me want to back Loyola Marymount, and I thought we'd have a ton of people in the chat talking about Loyola Marymount. We do have a lot of people here, according to the Sports Insights, who have bet Loyola Marymount. Take it away here, CMac, St. Mary's at Loyola Marymount.
Yeah, I want Loyola Marymount here, but I've been impressed by St. Mary's. Even on the road, this team's been able to get it done. They're a lot better. Maybe in the end, just because they're not crazy athletic, they maybe can't make a Final Four run. But this team's very good and very good defensively. you're right. Loyola off to 2 losses. They were on the road, but they were sloppy losses. This team's been really good at home, though. You mentioned they've had some good wins here. I remember at St. Mary's, well, they lose by 14. This one still is making me think, though. I want Loyola here. I don't like how they've been playing. The defense has been sloppy, but you got to think at home here. This is a huge, huge spot for them. St. Mary's has whipped their ass, though, and owned them as of late. And this team's even better. So I got to look at this one more, but I want Loyola.
I want Loyola too. I cannot double up on Loyola, and I need to decide if I like first half better than full game. And that's the only decision I have to make, because I'm going to move on Loyola. I guess I lean towards first half. I lean towards first half. I'll decide what decision is made. Final game on today's show and of the NCAA basketball card. We got that St. Francis and Brooklyn game popping off in 17 minutes, and I have yet to bet it. Absolutely. And Leonard Porch Jr., I was going over something from the show yesterday, and I couldn't believe I forgot to give you the New Hampshire cash. And I apologize for that. That kind of ate at me yesterday. I would never do that on purpose, and I apologize for that. BJ says the cash for Northwestern Ohio State. We'll do that very briefly at the end of the show. Here we go, though. 11 p.m. Eastern. USC Trojans 17-6, 9-3 on the road at the Oregon Ducks, sitting at 14. Oh no, 9-3 in conference. Excuse me, I said road. Oregon Ducks 14-10, 8-5 in conference. Matthew Knight Arena in Eugene, Oregon. I did. I don't know why it's so stupid. Eat an edible and take a rabbit hole down why it's named Matthew Knight Arena. I did not know that was Phil Knight's son, who died in a scuba diving accident, 34 years old, in San Salvador. It's just information I probably don't want, but that's sad.
You got it now.
That was Phil Knight's. Yeah, Phil Knight's eldest son, Matthew, a scuba diving accident. I've scuba dived 0 times, and I plan on doing it another 0. Not because of this, but I just. USC comes in off its 4th straight win, 80-74 at home over Washington Saturday as 9.5-point favorites. Obviously feel very good about themselves. That was a huge win over UCLA. And here we go. We have USC opening up as 4-point dogs. At Pinnacle now 4.5-point dogs. That's really telling. Oregon's playing so much better. Oregon opening up at BetOnline at -4. They got up to -5. They're now sitting at -4.5. Totals wise, it's opened up at 142.5, which is where it is now. And Billy, I got 15 minutes. I think I want to try to stay focused here as much as possible, because it'll take me a second to send it in. So let's take a look at the cash flow. Final game on the board, USC Oregon. We have 3,260 tickets in. So not a huge sample size. 71% of tickets, 96% of cash on Oregon. And I get it. They're just playing better basketball. We don't have a cash flow on the total, but 77% of tickets are on the under. USC comes in off its 4th straight. Oh, I said that. Oregon comes in off its 3rd win in 4 games. 75-70. Arizona State is 1-point dogs. That was really impressive for me. The Oregon's playing much better ball. Let's see what CMac has to say. Final game on the board, Pac-12, USC, Oregon.
Both these teams have been playing good basketball. I would, real quick, Oregon's been good, and this seems at home. But I don't want it. I think in the end I'm going to stay off, because you know what I want? I want SC. But after 3 straight at home, all good wins, all those games went over too. Washington State, they're scoring 80 a game. I lean to SC, and I think this is more an Oregon spot. They've been taking care of the basketball. They've been getting it done here at home. Richardson is not the only guy just scoring for this team either. They foul a lot, though. SC's a little bit better free throw shooting team. Oregon, it's still, a team that's 68, 69% laying a number that could be tight. I don't love, but I think this could be a good basketball game. I'm leaning SC, but I'm going to be off. I get why people might want to be on Oregon, but I like SC.
Yeah. So do you think you end up moving on? Because I love the way I love the situation with USC feeling good about themselves, being at home, getting on the road.
Yeah.
Oregon coming off that what I thought was a really impressive victory at Arizona State.
I get it. I get both sides. To me,
Okay.
You think they can win by 5 again?
Well, that's
I think so.
concern.
I mean, I don't trust them enough. They beat Colorado. They just covered that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or no, they didn't. I think that was a 6, and they won by 6.5. I have to double check that. 75-69. They took care of Utah. That was hobbled. Two good teams right now.
Yeah. They're the Pac is going to be a fun tournament. Nate, I'm moving on St. Francis of Brooklyn first half. That's going to be my move. All right, let's review all action again with CMac, who's been doing very well on these Thursdays. He has another show at 5 p.m. There's so many games on Thursday, so it's going to be a ton of fresh. But he's also going to get another chance to discuss these spots. He's going to tweet out his action. He has made a couple spots. He has locked in a couple spots. So I'm going to move on St. Francis of Brooklyn. The game pops off in 12 minutes. Then I want Purdue. I'm not sure exactly how to do it. I'll figure that out. I would prefer not to double up. CMac is on Purdue -8 at -108. I'm going to be on Rice first half +8. I want Gardner-Webb first half, but I'd be comfortable if I only take the under. I want Gardner-Webb first half, though. UAB, I'm moving on. Southern Miss first half. And maybe the full game under. I'm close to the full game under. By the way, DC Capper is on Oregon -4 as well. I've got his. He's also on UAB +2.5. There's Millsy in the house. What up, Millsy? Oregon State first half. San Fran Dons first half. CMac is on San Fran. Do you want the 14.5 or the 14?
Give me the 14.5.
14.5 -1.4. I -114. I like that. I don't think that's because most books have the 14 at -110. There was just one book 5 times that had it -105. So you basically for 4 cents a half point. That's fine. Loyola Marymount, I will be on, and I believe I expect first half, and then Oregon would be a full game look, and that's a lot of action, and that makes me nervous. I feel like when I'm running better, my actions, my amount of action is lower, and when I'm not running as well, I start reaching and putting in more action, and that makes me nervous. But it has been a good enough season overall. Stimmy OG, by the way, he's on the Cal Bears +19.5. CMac will tweet out his extra action after his show at 5 p.m. But CMac has a big show popping off here in an hour and 11 minutes on Pub Sports Radio. No. What?
Wait, cancel that. It's going to be later today, I believe. Sharpie shot me a message. There's something's going on, so we just got to delay it. I think a little bit to tonight. Okay. I think so.
Okay, cool. So, but the National League is going to be broken down today. Futures in baseball. I won't, BJ. Thank you. I've got 10 minutes. I got to go get my action in here. So let's just do a quick review. If you don't mind sticking with me for a second, CMac, here. In NHL, Gogster's on Calgary, Detroit, first period. Both teams to score. There's Nonstop Philly in the house. What up, Nonstop Philly? Good, my guy. What's up? Sweaty Butcher's prime cut play of the day is San Jose, Florida, over 6.5. Barkov is not playing. He got hurt in the win over the Lightning blocking a shot, and it's a hand injury, so he's not in, and I'm off that game. I'm on the Kraken first period. Unbelievable that I got +125. The line on the Kraken with, Hughes being out now week to week and Blackwood being announced in moved from 140 to 115 at my book, and the first period didn't change, which is just it's got to be an oversight, man. That's just got to be a mistake, I think. But right now, Kraken are at +115, and the first period still at +125. I mean, that's just wild. That's just absolutely wild. Gogster joined me with the Kraken first period. He's also on the Kraken full game. Ghoster's on first period, both teams to score in Edmonton, Philadelphia. I'm on Oilers -1 again, and I may add to my division because now +260. I think it's a nice price. Ghoster's on no goal first 9 minutes and first period under 1.5 in Colorado, Tampa. I'm interested in first period under 1.5, the full game under 6, and the Lightning. I do not want 3 units on this game. So I've got to figure out that. Islanders to make the playoffs at plus 210. I'm going to have to study it more because Sabres are right there. Penguins have 4 games in hand. The Panthers, I think, can go on a run. So I'm going to need to look at that a little more, but it's appealing when we talk about it. Islanders minus 1.5. I'm going to take the Islanders on the puck line. Pimp slap play today is Colorado under 6. I love that. I'm on Wild first period. I got it minus 115. That's NHL. Then
got some action there, huh, Jimmy?
Yeah, I feel really good about everything right now in NHL. I want to get hot. Kale McCarr is out. Lightning price going up. Damn it. But that's my fault for not getting it. Made 3 bets before the show, and I wanted to talk out that big game, and that's my fault. Magic and the under. I'm interested in Nuggets Magic. The Suns team total over in the Suns first quarter and Suns Hawks. The Nets and the over. So the 2 teams that have been, whose lineups have been gutted, I'm going to back. And then Bucks first quarter team total over. That's my plan at this point, and I will lock it in. But I've got to get that first half St. Francis, Brooklyn in right now, which I will do. Shout out to all you guys. Thank you guys so much. Rocco Rogers, Robert Franklin, Real Deal, Prime, Lee Davis, North Ender. North Ender says Bones Highland to the Clips. Nonstop Philly just put 3.5 units on the Islanders. I didn't fade the Canucks against the Devils or the Rangers. But here I'm starting to want to. Billy Friedrich, Andrew G, Leonard Porsche Jr. The early play for me, I'm taking St. Francis of Brooklyn in 7 minutes. I haven't bet it. I got to go bet it. Emilzy, BJ, Nasty Nate, Smith Legacy, Jay Peasy, Robert Franklin, Rez Mob. Thank you guys so much. Brad Hassan. Thank you. Oh, and BJ wanted to know. Sorry, I can only give you we can't talk about it because I got to get my action in. And I apologize for having to rush it. But here, I'll give you the line history for that Ohio State spot. And then I know that CMac's going to talk about that game here, Northwestern Ohio State. That was a late cut, and I still left 7 games on. Over at Bet Online, this moved from -6 to -5, so a 1-point move towards Northwestern. And this total went from 138 down to 135.5. And cash flow wise here, this is God, I hate this so much. Sorry, it's got to reload once again, which is so annoying. Here it is reloaded. The Ohio State spot, cash wise, Ohio State Northwestern. 6 minutes till tip off. Stay calm. Stay very calm. Here we go. We have almost the most line value on the entire cards on Northwestern. 61% of the tickets, so it's sort of a public road dog, but 77% of the cash, so the big bets are coming in on them. Then 41% of the tickets, 75% cash on the under. CMac, my friend, I got to get ready to hit the trigger on us closing out. So can you close out our show, my friend? And let's say us into the future, my friend. And great work today.
Yeah, we'll be out of here. You already hit everyone. Thanks. Hit the like button on the way out. Shout out to everyone in here. You hit them all up. Check us out in the afternoon, me and Babano. Then shout out Lucas Ryan. I forgot he donated those memberships. We appreciate it. We are out of here. Leche, Alos Bookmakers. Cut it.
Let's go. Oh, my bad.
Yep.
Didn't pull us. My bad.